All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
Hello and welcome. Do you want to cue down?
My bad. Yo, what is up, boys? Welcome to episode 53 of Nerds and Words. Okay, listen.
54.
I'm doing the intro, and it's better than Tim's. I'm doing the intro today, damn it, and I'm better than Tim, okay? This is the long-awaited episode where we actually got to play New World because Tim has been fucking gushing about this game for months. So we're going to get into that. I'm joined by our esteemed crew. If you don't know me, I'm Kerr. We're joined by Tim, the man who was banned for Trump speech, Allen.
Hello.
We're joined by Potion Shop, motherfucking grinding to 40 in like 2 days. Shop, what's up, Potion?
Yo, what's going on?
And the leader of the tinfoil / tight posse, Moreland?
Yes, that's me.
What did you guys do last week? You guys want to catch up like we always do?
Played some video games.
Stop making it awkward, damn it. All right, fuck.
Hold on, I gotta go for a smoke.
It was actually better than Tim's intro. I don't care. For something
In no
that's off
way,
the
shape,
top.
or form was it.
That was
You had all week to plan
disaster.
for it. You had all week to plan for it, and that's what you come up with?
No, dude, I just did it. I actually forgot that I was doing it this week, and I just.
You didn't
So you
prepare.
want to do it next week and actually do it?
He's a college student, dude. He waits until 5 minutes before the thing is due, and then he comes up with it.
Sad because true.
I had a really interesting week. Thank you for asking, Kerr. Thanks for the very nice introduction. I have been gushing about this game, and it has not disappointed. I have had some of the most fun playing video games in the past 3 days than I've had in years and years and years. We have a really fun and eclectic group put together for Aftershock, and we capped out, on the first day. I think we got 100 people. And we have Mr. Pay to Win's Guild is also got about 30 or 40 people. Tonight's our first war. I haven't done anything besides play video games, drink, and sleep. That's it. It's been absolutely incredible. I burnt out pretty hard last night, and I slept for 12 hours last night, and I've just been kind of I got banned for being disruptive from New World for 24 hours.
You want to explain to the viewers what you did?
I have a soundboard, and it has like Trump speeches on it and stuff. So, I was standing in the town center and just kind of.
I will build a great wall.
Stuff like that. Some light.
Yeah.
I actually think if it was just the build a wall soundboard, you would have been fine. You were so much more annoying than what you
What
are
about the
admitting
Windows
to right
ear
now.
rape, dude?
You are so
No.
so much more annoying than what you're admitting to.
Well, I mean, I thought the Windows sounds were funny.
How many hours did you play diarrhea noises? How many
That too,
hours,
and the
Tim?
diarrhea noise, dude.
The funny part is I spent so much. There's that voice mod thing that you can get through Stream Deck. I spent so much time. You can like make it so it's a small room. It sounds like you're in a bathroom, and so I just groan over the top of the diarrhea sound. It was great, man. I was crying laughing for many hours. This has been the longest 24 hours of for a long time. I got banned at 4:20 p.m. So I'm looking forward to 4:20 rolling around again and get back to it. I was playing the game super wrong though. Like even outside of just being an annoying piece of shit or disruptive. Sorry, the town board thing kind of I don't like it, and so I was trying to resist it. And like I wasn't doing the crafting, and now I kind of really wrap my head around how important just having materials is and getting out and crafting and keeping that crafting thing up. And it's been fun going, staying in. Some people, I had a minor meltdown because I couldn't do PvP missions because I wasn't leveling correctly.
A minor meltdown.
That's an
What's your fucking
understatement.
problem with me today, Kerr? You really want to get me juiced up already? I slept. I'm calm. I'm focused. You really want to get me on another fucking rager, dude?
Man, guys, I think I'm just gonna uninstall the game. I can't.
I never said uninstall.
It's
You
it's
did
so
say
bad,
uninstall.
dude. I can't level. I can't keep up. I'm so far behind, man. Like I'm just not
I
having fun.
specifically remember the word
just-
uninstall being said because I was
I'm
like,
just
oh, that's
gonna
not going
end
to
the
be good for
stream.
morale.
It's not really good for you guys to lie. Just bold-faced lie like this. It's weird.
I'm just speaking verbatim, brother.
And I didn't have that whiny tone either. Anyway, so PUBG and a couple of the boys got together and fed me some materials, and I got to 25 in like no time. I stayed up until probably 9 a.m. Getting that territory done. Nobody would fucking help. There were so few of us who were 25, but like nobody else in the faction would help us. So I was a little peeved about that, but you know, it's cool. It's early in the game. So we got it all by ourselves. We're going to take it tonight all by ourselves. So should be good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the war, to showing off some of the Siege War stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Potion.
Oh,
You
wait,
wanna
hold on. I
give us a
did one
rundown?
more thing.
Oh,
I drank an entire bottle of pickle juice, and then I took a shot of hot sauce. And it was the
Don't do
most pain
that.
I've been in.
yeah, that
Do
fucked
not,
you up, bro.
that pickle juice, I realize now, is straight vinegar, basically. So I just
Yeah.
ate like a couple cups of vinegar. And even if you decide that you want to throw it up, it goes through you so fast that you can't. Like, you just have to sit there on the floor for an hour and just deal with it. So I definitely regretted doing that. The hot sauce wasn't too bad. I would do the hot sauce again. This Beyond Insanity, the bomb it was interesting. I've always
That was
wanted
the
to try
hot
really
sauce
spicy.
from Hot Ones, right? Like their top hot sauce.
No, it's
What'd you
always
say?
like the third to the last one, but it's the one that always makes
Oh,
people
okay.
like melt the fuck down. Like that's when everything changes.
Yeah, they have those in the wrong order, it seems.
Yeah, a couple of the guests have reordered them and always they always put the bomb at least second to last, if not last, because there's no taste to it. It's just a terrible experience,
Yeah.
which was what I was looking for.
Did you get a lot of subs though?
It's $600. I did that for $600.
Hell yeah.
$600 to chug a jar of pickle juice and take a teaspoon of hot sauce, bro. That's good. That's easy.
No,
It's
I
worth
wouldn't do the pickle juice for $5,000. That was
Yeah, I would
Bad.
not do. That was I would do
That
it for
was-
$5,000, but
it was very bad. I was very concerned. But I would do the hot sauce for another 200 or something, you know? Like I don't care about that. It's a bad half hour, but you're not worried that like you're going to start shitting blood. You're just like, I got the hot sauce on my forehead. What? Why is he laughing?
That's just you
Pickle
casually
juice.
said shitting blood from pickle juice.
Yes. Drink some pickle juice and find out. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just take my word for it. But the hot sauce was so like invasive, I guess would be the word. Is like when I got back on camera, they're like, "Why is your head red?" And I had wiped this because I was dying. I wiped the sweat off my forehead and got hot sauce on my forehead, and it like just started breaking out. So I had to wash my
Yo.
keyboard. I had to wash my mouse. I had to wash everything, dude.
It literally looked like that scene from Lion King where like Mufasa
He
ran
did.
his thumb down Simba's forehead, bro, and you had this big red streak from where you touched your head with the hot sauce.
I
It
was
was hilarious.
drenched in sweat, but I realized I'm like, wow, this hot sauce is doing a number on me. And I'm like, wait, no, I drank a ton of vinegar. So it's that and salt. Oh my God, I drank so much water after that. Holy Christ. So that was exciting. But yeah, I got a bunch of subs and made some money that I needed to pay some things off. So all in all, I felt like I've been on vacation. I've just been having so much fun, man. That was
Worth,
the first
yay
hour
or
of my
nay?
fucking stream. That was the first hour of my stream. But anyway,
Whew.
worth? Yeah. I mean, I'm all about experiences and stuff and doing different shit. Now I know what pickle juice tastes like.
Respect,
Never
respect.
gonna do that.
All right, now I'm done.
All right, Potion. What you want to tell us about your experience the last couple days?
So, I guess before New World came out, I was playing a lot of BDO. Been trying to grind for this Great Marty Stone. You need all the Great Marty Stones in order to get 1 energy, and one of my goals in the game currently in BDO is to get hard cap energy, which is 629. So I went and did like 50 hours of grinding on that. So I've been like nonstop grinding there. And then I was planning on doing AFK fishing during New World, but I just didn't get set up quite in time. New World launched like I think like an hour and a half early or something like that. So with it launching early, I just didn't get my laptop set up in time. But yeah, as far as New World goes, like I've been having a blast. I can't say it enough. Like the world is so immersive in New World that it doesn't matter what you're doing, you enjoy it, right? It's like even like some of these menial tasks, which is like go gather this tree 500 times, like you just don't care. You're just like, you know what, I'll do that, right? And you actually enjoy that because it's just such an immersive world. And I think that is something that's really, really rare. I feel like, you know, in BDO, you got to turn down the music or turn it off, or you got to turn down the voices because "Whoosah" or "Hiya, hiya, hiya, hiya," and from Ranger, and you don't have to do that in this game. Like the sound effects are super crisp, really enjoyable to listen to, and the music's nice and matches the game for most parts that I've experienced so far. And yeah, I don't know. I've just been pushing levels, and my goal is to get to in-game and kind of try to get that on lockdown so I know what to plan for.
No, I really like. I kind of internally made fun of you for being excited about like being able to life skill and never have to stop, because you bring that up and it's like, okay, that's kind of this is such a good PvP game, but you know, you do you. But I realized earlier today, watching somebody else play, that every single tree that you see in this game you can gather, and every single time you gather a tree, it falls over, like it literally falls down. And like once you start really paying attention to some of the details in this game and how immersive things really are, you know, like you were saying with turning music up or down in BDR or whatever, it really is kind of very well done.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, you don't have to do that too. You can like pick your flavor, like how you want to play the game. I think the EXP is a little limiting right now because it's mainly just, you know, doing a board. But you know, this is so much different content that people can participate in.
I agree with you on so like one of the best things that they really did with the immersion is just like the sounds. Like I was watching Moreland go to random like valleys and mine ore and stuff, and like it sounded completely different than the way I was like gathering boulders near the town. Because like when his pickaxe would hit the ore, the sound sounded like it would like echo through the valley. And they did really good about the ambiance and like the sound effects with things like that, and just the sound of like a tree falling or like chopping wood, things like that. I think they did really good with the sound effects.
The audio engineering is insane. Potion, have you been able to venture into like Cutlass Keys yet? Like one of the larger areas? Have you mainly just been doing the starter zones and downboard?
I've been doing townboard right now. Like my goal is basically, the way I see it is, once I get like my limiting factor right now is my level, because I can't equip the in-game gear because I'm not that level yet. So if I feel like the best way to progress right now is just to power level the crap out of it, and then I can go and gather like some cash box in the in-game zone and get like level 55 gear, and then I'm just automatically light years ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, dude, I've been getting pretty bored of the starter zones, but I went to Cutlass Keys last night and just started exploring that for higher tier resources. And holy shit, man, like if you think the starter zone's immersive, wait till you get out to the like jungles and beaches and stuff. It was a whole different experience for me. Completely changed my mood about the game.
Yeah, my favorite zone, the zone I went to that was started to give me those vibes was Brightwood. I went to Brightwood, and bro, it just feels like you just went into a horror movie, right? And then like I just love how they like made that. And if that's like just the taste of it, I cannot wait to get into some of the more in-game zones.
Yeah, I think you're gonna really like the later zones a lot, man. Like the starter zones are nothing compared to the 30+ zones.
I've also kind of found, I don't know if you've experienced this as well, Moreland, but like when you're away from the starter zones, you actually have less like lag from like
the game runs
things.
way better outside of Windsward and Everfall.
Yeah.
Really?
So because I was thinking like it was like a server capacity thing, but maybe it's like the area itself is so overloaded with players. Because as soon as I went out to like Weavers to like gather and like kill random things, I was having no issues gathering. Like it was just instant to pick up flint
Yep.
and things like that.
Feels way better. Way more fluid and responsive. You can like time the desync in this game just by trying to pick up flint.
Yeah, you really can. Honestly.
It's like 3 seconds in Everfall and like 0.1 second in Cutlass Keys.
Yeah,
It'll be
noticed that.
interesting to see how the war performs tonight.
Yeah,
They
because
performed pretty well in preview, but we'll see.
it's instant, so I would hope it's really solid.
Imagine
I'm
doing
like,
PvP in an instance. Wow. What an idea.
Wait, speaking of which, so if you have you guys ever done the Outpost Rush? That's like the 20v20.
No, that's new. And you have to
Okay.
be level 60, I think.
Yeah, I saw you have to be level 60 to do it. It's like an instance 20v20 thing. So maybe that could be good. I don't know if we'll get to test it.
It looks good. Yeah, we'll hit 60. There was no reason to hit 60 last time, so we all quit after about 8 days, I think. But this time around, we'll probably play it at the end because there actually is level 60 content. In the preview, there was literally 0 level 60 content, so we all quit at like level 58. But yeah, we'll get a chance to test it.
Yeah,
There's
it
also
looked pretty good.
Hashishing came out. I remember that.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. Nobody went to that last war because Hashishing was live.
But that's not going to stop me anymore. Got too many classes. I'm tired of that.
Yeah. Finally hit the diminishing return.
Dude, I'm actually though excited about like Potion trying a new MMO and like enjoying it. Like because I didn't expect it, right? Like I know Tim was talking about the game and like trying to, like boosting it up, but I never expected Potion to enjoy it. I don't know why. I just always like when I think of Potion, I just think of BDO, right? So I was really surprised, and I like it that he's like having a blast with it.
No, I feel like this is everything Potion needed from Last Oasis, but way more impactful. Like getting those levels and getting those crafting it up is going to be super big for the guild. Like everything that he did in Last Oasis, he can do in this game, and it's going to matter like 3 times more than it did in Last Oasis. So,
Right, you think I'm an animal right now? I'm going to evolve when
Yeah,
when the game comes out.
Yeah,
and
launch,
dude,
he's going to fucking transcend.
And he was like out there PvPing with us too. Like it's
Dude,
crazy.
Did anyone? I don't know if anyone clipped that javelin throw. I saw Potion, Mr. Life Skill Extraordinaire. I saw this dude do a fucking max render distance spear throw knockdown. That was like I didn't even know he was on the same screen as this guy. The spear was like 200 meters away. I thought it was the Great Axe who caught him, and Potion just goes, "Nah, that was me."
I forgot to clip it because after he did it, I like went to see like tab over because I have a tab with like all of your streams, and I went to his and he wasn't streaming, and I was like, damn, dude, because I wanted to see it from his perspective because it was pretty crazy.
But yeah, I love the spear. Talking about the spear. Oh, I'm a fan. I feel like my preview build at the very least, and maybe we'll change that later on, but it's going to do spear hatchet, and like a weapon in this game is like a whole class in its own, So
and there's so much combos you can do, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I think even though I was talking shit about Gravity Well, I think I might roll Great Axe just to. It just looks so cool. It's got to be satisfying to hit somebody with that like executioner thing.
Dude, freaking what's his name? Fuck, I'm drawing a blank. But it's useless. Useless was hitting wolves for like 2.8k with the axe swing, the execute. Yeah, it does so much damage.
Yeah.
He's like a full strength execute or axe build, like no constitution, just full straight into strength, and he just hits like a truck.
He's gonna get fucking sniped in one shot, dude.
Yeah, like he's gonna get blasted if like people can hit him, but like that one hit on like a group of people or something like that.
People might ignore you on Great Axe though, because they think you're a tank. They might just shoot someone else.
It could be. I hope the best for him. I think it's Moreland's turn. Host.
Oh, yeah. Moreland. What about you? How was your?
I was wondering who was running this thing. I hated New Worlds for the first 2 days, just like I hated it for the first 2 days during the preview. Now that I'm past level 30 and I'm actually getting to like play the game, I'm having a blast. I was fucking miserable for the first 2 days though. I can't believe that they somehow made it even worse. Like the fact that you just cannot level through combat in this game is so weird to me, but now that I'm past the early game, I'm really fucking enjoying what they've done with the later zones. I think it, like you guys said, it's one of the most immersive MMO experiences that I've had. The ambiance and the visuals in these later zones is fucking incredible. So I'm very happy with that. I'm pretty concerned with a lot of the UI bugs and just minor issues that the game has. I definitely don't think it's ready to be launched, but they're going to launch it anyways, so it's going to be fun. But yeah, I wasn't sure how much time I was going to put into the preview, but now that I'm actually playing it and having fun, I definitely feel like I'm going to push it all the way to max, and I'm excited for the Siege tonight as well.
Nice.
I agree. I think honestly, for me, one of the best and worst things about them is how fast and how willing they are to make these like sweeping changes on a dime.
Yeah.
Like I think that could be a really good thing, but it could also be a really bad thing at the same time. So I guess it's just going to depend on who they listen to or like where they're getting the information from.
So far, they've been on point with like what they're listening to, though. I don't know how in the world they filter out all the bullshit, but they've been on point. I feel like.
I have very mixed feelings about that. I think there's some absurd design decisions that go into this game, but I mean, when it comes to like the most recent changes of the town board, I think that was very necessary. It's kind of like the kind of stuff you really want to see in a longer beta, though, like being 5 weeks away from launch. I think there's still going to be massive sweeping balance changes and nerfs and stuff that happen post launch that are going to be kind of unfortunate for people who didn't take advantage of it in time.
$20 says they extend the beta another week.
You think so?
I hope they do something like that, especially because like there's so much that needs to get fleshed out. Obviously, we don't know what the end game is like, but for example, we were doing our 3rd rank Marauder quest to Ravager, and we were killing these mobs in a group, and us in a group would kill the mob, and we would get 20 EXP. But Moreland was like outside of the group; he wasn't even in the party. And he'd hit them once or twice and get like 30 or 40 EXP, which is really weird. So it's kind of like it disincentivizes group grinding a little bit. Like,
yeah, you can just turn PvE off and go snipe tags from enemy players, and you will get 2 to 3 times more experience than they do.
Yeah, like you could literally just go and steal people's like mob, like go hit people's mobs twice and let them kill it and get more EXP than they themselves get. If
it's literally better than actually having your own group.
It's so weird. So I'm hopefully that's like something as well that they kind of like work on, because like it's like Moreland's been saying the last couple of days, where it's like they're so afraid of people getting griefed in open world PvP that they don't see that there's many other ways to grief someone that's not PvP related, right?
Well, if they're being disruptive, report them.
Report them for hitting your monsters.
Yeah, report them for hitting your mobs. So yeah, that's good.
I'm being griefed by the respawn timers in this game, dude. Have you guys figured out how? I feel like there's got to be some broken dynamic respawning system. I'm on the main quest right now, and I have to kill 6 mobs in this main quest area. I've been here for 20 minutes, and 2 mobs have spawned.
Yeah, the respawn's weird too, because like last night when we were doing that Marauder quest, they took forever to respawn, right? But sometimes you'll sit in a field, like if you're trying to gather like fucking
when I'm gathering hemp, the mobs have a 10-second respawn, but when I'm on the main story quest, they have a 10-minute respawn.
Yeah, I know, exactly. It's really weird, and sometimes like you can go back to the exact same spot and mobs won't be respawning at all. It's odd.
So
I don't know.
I wonder if they has to do with the tick rate. Maybe they programmed it based on the server tick rate. So if the servers are lagging, then it takes 4 times longer than it's supposed to.
I think that they have a system that buffs respawn rate based on the number of players that are nearby, but it's like stuck, or it like lags behind 20 minutes or something, or it's not properly counting the players in the region. There's something weird that's going on with it for sure.
Yeah, something like we were trying to kill elks the other day, and they were just respawning on a like there's like 50 people there just responding instantly almost.
Yep, I've seen that as well. A nearly instant respawns in some areas, while other areas it's just it takes literally 5-10 minutes for a mob to spawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. But again, as for me, what I did this week, I'm kind of about the same as you guys. Honestly, I went into New World not really knowing what to expect. I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot because Tim and Moro say they had fun, and I watched you guys play it during the last beta, right, last year, and you guys looked like you were having fun, and I'm kind of about the same. I've had a lot of good and a lot of bad. Initially, it was like I was not really enjoying it. I was kind of like, "What the fuck, bro? What is happening?" But then, as time goes on, and I've like been able to get some PvP, and I kind of know where to go to fight people and have that PvP, right? Where like kind of some hot spots where people are. I think that's my most fun part. Where we like some of us did like an all-nighter and to take over Yellow's region up at the top of the map, and that was really fun. Got some good PvP there, and there was kind of a rush to like steal a region in the middle of the night where they were all sleeping so they couldn't protect it. So yeah,
well, we were doing it for 12 hours. It wasn't like a secret. Just nobody was helping, so it took forever.
True. Yeah, true.
Yeah, I like that a lot, and like that's where we got our PvP too. We jumped into there and like. I mean, there's like one guy from Purple Faction, and he was out there like trying to 5v1 us and stuff like that, and then Yellow showed up at one point, and they were like all up on the cliff, like throwing down like spears and long range attacks and stuff like that. Honestly, probably like some of the most fun I've had because you're playing with your boys and you're getting good content at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like that Discord's been so full, dude. We've had like 4 different groups of 5 to 15 people just constantly, having social interactions and figuring a game out, and all the stuff we constantly talk about, is like actually coming to fruition. It's really nice.
Yeah, like the turnout's been pretty crazy. And I kind of feel like I feel like one of the biggest issues it's gonna have is like keeping the sides and the factions balanced, because we're still too early to know what the strength is going to be. But from what I've seen from watching different servers and streams, it's like green is the most sought after faction out of all servers. Like pretty much every server green is taking over. So it's kind of like, do you play green because you're going to be the strongest, or do you pick one of the other two? Because if you pick purple or yellow, you're guaranteed to have good fights. But you're not guaranteed to do very well because green has the majority of people.
So I think purple is doing well on most servers. Yellow seems the one that people avoid, which is natural because it's a dumb color. They should have gone with red.
Yeah, true. Yeah, green's been doing, or purple's been doing very well too. Honestly, there's a lot of popular people that have been playing for purple too. But I think that's going to be really telling, because if one color is just completely taking over the map, then it's going to be like, eh. But if you can have those 2 colors that are like butting heads, and, one is able to take some faction or some cities here and there and stuff, and it's a little bit of back and forth, I think it could be really good.
The idea of the 3 factions is that if one faction starts to get overpowered, the other 2 can team up on them. In practicality, I don't really know how that's going to work out. Like, the servers are fairly small, so I think guilds will get to know each other pretty quickly. And maybe there could be a case where like yellow and purple team up, and like they each take one territory from green, and like one of them purple gets to keep it, and one of them yellow gets to keep it, or something like that. But it's very like it's very unclear if that'll actually play out in the real game.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Like, do you guys think that it should have been, instead of faction based, just
absolutely
guild?
Free for all? Yep.
Yeah. I think that I would rather that have been how it was, just like a guild free for all. Like if your guild is strong, you can just take whatever. So then that in itself brings in more politics, and the open world isn't so like tied to colors. It can be anybody fight anybody, which is probably what the original game was, right? Like when their original vision of the game.
The only thing I see an issue with that is it makes it where the PvP flag missions are even less likely to have somebody fight you. But I think that's something you could probably fix as well. I don't think it's a hard fix for that.
Well, I know they're trying to go a little more softer with this game, but if there wasn't a faction situation and it was just you're flagged and anybody can hit you and all that kind of stuff, I think the game would be a little too hectic just in general.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on
mind the
how
faction
if
system,
you
but-
decide, like the way they have it designed now, of course they can't get rid of factions. But if they had stuck to their original vision, the game could have easily been factionless.
I mean, even if
you just have to make it's look at games like Albion or Eve. You just have to make proper rules and limitations on who you can run around ganking and fucking with. Like you don't make it so literally anyone can attack anyone anywhere. But at least in the higher level zones, you would have a system where certain guilds can claim territory and they could kill other players who come into that area that they've claimed, and then opposing guilds could claim it from them, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, obviously the way they have the game now, they can't get rid of factions.
So
it's way too late.
What would you think could be like a good change for the current faction system to make it more enjoyable?
I don't know, man. There's got to be some kind of like either mercenary system where you can like temporary change factions, or like a bonus to swapping to an underpopulated faction.
I could see it being an EXP bonus being really good for under.
So,
I mean, how do other games do it? How does like ESO do it when their factions get fucked up?
So the way I currently see it is you can only change faction every 60 days.
I think it's 120 days
Right.
actually.
Yeah. It's way longer.
Yeah, it's like
one of
4
those.
months. So
Yeah, the NPC said when you like did the first quest, but I forget the exact amount of days.
It's 120.
Well,
So 120 days.
The easy way you could fix that would be just make it where it's 20 days for the unpopular faction and it's like half a year for the popular faction. So,
They might do something like that. They'll probably just give, like, if Yellow has 0 territories, they may just give them like a 5 or 10% buffs to stats while flagged up or something, or during PvP, like instance PvP. I think they're probably going to do something like that, but there's probably quite a few different ways to solve it.
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it. I feel like at this point, I want to know what direction they are curious in taking the game. Like, are they just looking to polish the game for the next, 6 months? Or are they looking to, like, create new content? Or are they looking to bounce
they'll
PvP?
absolutely keep creating new content. Yeah, I think I don't think that this is any kind of like cash grab or pump and dump. They're definitely going to continue developing this game in the long run. It's just a matter of execution at this point.
I really hope they index more or like figure out what they want, because it feels like currently they're kind of trying to do it all. And if they try to do it all, then they'll accomplish nothing, right? Because, like, for example, if they fully index into the whole theme park MMO side of it, they're not going to be able to compete with these other games like ESO and Final Fantasy and shit like that. But I feel like if they keep going with this PvP open world style, then I mean they could cut out their own slice of the pie.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what everyone's been saying since the alpha, man. But I don't know if they get that, because they keep changing the game to be more and more PvE focused, and they keep punishing PvPers. So, like, I think once the game is launched and they actually have data indicating, like, hey, your most dedicated active players are all PvPers, stop catering to the PvEers. Like, I think someone at Amazon will finally wake up to that, but who knows? They clearly have some weird things going on behind the scenes.
True.
If the community doesn't stop asking for fucking mounts, I'm going to lose my mind, though.
Yeah, I don't think the
That's
game's
such
set
a
up for it.
No,
dumb
you don't need mouse in this
request.
game. Just press
Everybody's-
the M key and then press the fast travel button.
Everybody's screaming for mounts on like Twitter and in the
Well, the reason
army
everyone wants
places.
mounts is because they force you into a 7-hour running simulator with the main quest. It's one of the first things they do, and it's just really, really bad. I don't know who thought that was gonna get people sucked into the game.
I think they definitely need some quest variety, because it's one of those things where it's like, I don't mind running a decent bit of time to reach an area on the map and do a quest. But when all of the quests are either two things: kill these mobs in this area or search this place painstakingly for supply crates and gather them. and then walk back 30 minutes.
Bro,
Like,
this game doesn't even need
don't know.
quests. Like, you should just be able to go to a nearby open world dungeon, slaughter mobs, get loot, and level up. Like,
I mean,
it
that too,
doesn't
yeah,
even,
sure.
doesn't even fucking need quests. Who cares?
Yeah.
I agree.
Like these devs, MMO devs in general, are just way too obsessed with World of Warcraft. They need to just let it go and make their own game for once.
Yeah.
But all in all, I have been really enjoying it, surprisingly enough, a lot. So, and there's been a lot more of my friends that like a lot of friends that I haven't played games with for a long time, even since back to like my Mabinogi days. I'd see them like so and so has launched New World Beta through Steam, and they'll message me and like, yo, what faction are you in? And then obviously a lot of them are fucking yellow nerds, surprisingly enough. But they were like, yeah, I picked yellow because yellow only had one faction on the map at the time. And I was like, okay, I respect that.
It's true. It is the underdog faction.
So, yeah. So
Also, you can role play as a religious fanatic.
Yeah, we almost picked yellow the first time.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I think it might still be on the table for launch.
Okay, well, if you're green and you role play as a religious fanatic, you get banned for disruptive behavior. So
Exactly, it would fit the lore of yellow.
Fair enough, dude. So what do you guys want to start with in terms of like overarching things? Do you want to like dive into the BDO changes first right off the bat, or
Yeah,
talk
sure.
about
I'm
some more
curious
structure
about what's going on.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think
I
Kurt,
keep
you're
getting
probably,
people coming into my chat asking me what I think of the BDO changes, and I have no idea what they're talking about because I haven't read any of them. So I'm definitely curious.
So
it
basically,
finally happened.
a lot of the stuff that you guys have been, or that a lot of people in the Siege community have been bitching about, has finally got like changed and added. Before we talk about the Siege, I want to talk about the first thing that was on the patch notes. So they finally introduced the system, you know, the one that they photoshopped and faked in the patch notes at Korea the other couple weeks ago.
It was a mock-up. You guys are in way too hard on them over a UI mock-up.
Okay, a mock-up. They finally added it to the global labs on Korea. One second, let me pull up and I can tell you some exact numbers because I know Moreland, you better at judging things worth, but it seems worth to me. So they have a system. You can only use the system to trade Blackstones for stacks if you are at 0 fail stacks, of course. And basically you can trade weapon or armor stones for fail stacks. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. So a 5 stack costs 5 weapon stones or armor stones. A 10 stack costs 12. A 15 stack costs 21. A 20 stack costs 33. A 25 stack costs 53. And a 30 stack costs 64. If I'm saying this right.
That can't be right. Is that right?
Or is that 64 or 84? The picture's really blurry for the last one.
Gotta be 84. Even at 84, that's an extraordinarily good value. I
Yeah.
would trade any one of those, and I feel like the higher you go, the more worth those become. That's surprisingly worth it.
It's a really, really good addition, and you don't have to go anywhere for it. You just pop open your Black Spirit, and there's a plus there, and you click the plus above the Valk's Cry, and you can trade it.
that is
Pretty good, dude.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
good.
a really solid change.
That's an amazing change, yeah, and it's all like right in there in your Black Spirit UI opening.
Now this got to remove that reblath.
Yeah, they basically said they verbatim what they said was the required number of black stones is set a little higher than the average because it replaces the hassle of fail stacking.
Right, which is natural, yeah. But it's the time save that
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you still have reblath there for whatever fucking reason you want to click reblath, but it's there. So that's nice, right? That's a pretty good change, something that we've needed for a very, very long time to keep people from having to click for an hour for one attempt, right?
Yeah, it's very good. It also, I mean, it's only really addressing like 1/4 of the problem, but that's a big chunk, you know? Like it's a huge chunk of the problem that they've addressed.
What were some of the other issues you'd like addressed?
Well, I mean, you get a 35 stack from this, right? So what happens when you need a 200 stack for a pin accessory? You still got a hell of a slog ahead of you. But the worst part of enhancing was that 1 to 30 range. It was the reblath spam that was the most time consuming and the most tedious. So now that you can just go straight to, you know, making dual boss attempts or whatever, it's going to be a lot more rewarding and a lot more time efficient. But you're still going to be basically, you know, fail stacking on shit you don't care about for 90% of the time, and only actually attempting stuff you do care about 10% of the time. But that's 90 and 10 is a lot better than like 99.9 and 0.1, right? Like it's a much better ratio at least.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I it still aids obviously with the high stacks, but this is a huge change. Like being able to start exactly from a 30 and just insta do your duo attempts like right off the jump is really big, and tries too. So
that's fun. That's cool, dude. I might log in just to do
Try
some
some
enhancing, even if I don't. I'm definitely not going to grind or anything, but I might log in just to enhance that. I like that change a lot.
Oh my god, you're gonna get so much. I told you you'd be back.
No,
I can't wait. I can't wait for everyone to come back, donate and sub, and then ghost them for another 3 months.
Ban the words back and again, and the word quit. You quit New World.
No, I'm gonna play BDO
That's a
for
really
3
good
hours,
idea.
do nothing but enhance, tell everyone that I'm having so much fun, and I'm not gonna play the game for 3 months after that.
I think he needs to ban the word posse.
I think I already did that.
Well, actually, his chat can't spell that word, so there's like
True, yeah, true.
there's like 30 different ways of spelling the word in his chat.
Patsy and pumpkin and
Oh, it was so toxic. It was so funny.
All right, so for the part that Tim actually cares about, the Node War and Siege change. So off the rip, the first change they did was winning. If you win Calpheon, Medaya, or Valencia Siege, all members, including war heroes, get a 3 billion silver paycheck instantly off the rip. So it's actually worth silver for doing Siege. They said they're going to add rewards for people that didn't win. So it incentivizes other people to do it, even not just the ones that are like, almost guaranteed to win. But they haven't told us what those other rewards will be. So what do you guys think about that?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to really say, because the problem is not necessarily that you need money, you need a reward. It's the fun value is the issue.
I think they tackled that in this too. There's a lot more coming.
Yeah, keep going. I think the 3 billion silver reward is a good move. I think that this has been abused and forgotten about for so long. So many people have written off Siege for so many different reasons that just having like, hey, it's worth it to spend a couple hours, dying to desync over and over again. Here's your money. And so I think that just gets the juices flowing a little bit, but continue on.
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting change because it's like, shit, dude, I don't even fucking care about Siege, but it's like, hey, if I could go and do Siege on the weekends for a chance to win 3 bill, and whatever else the rewards are if you don't win, I mean, it's not bad. But continuing on, they made it so that if you have a castle, you're not punished anymore. You can actually do Node Wars while you own a region. So previously, if you owned a region, you could not do any kind of Node Wars for the next week. So now you can Node War if you own a region.
I don't like that change.
I think
we already lived through that and all the terrible things that it did to the game.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think it's good. I guess because you at least get to play the games.
If they limit them just to, I don't even know in the current state. Is there 4 tiers of Node or 3 tiers?
4.
4.
If they just limited them to the highest tier of Node War and don't allow them to fuck with like T1s and T2s or maybe even T3s, then I think that would. I think that's okay.
Nobody drops on T4s.
Nobody even drops on T4s.
Mm-mm.
Well, I mean,
that's part of the problem too, then, right?
Well, if they can place some tier 4s, then eventually, let's say every guild takes 2 tier 4s, right? That's 10 tier 4s that are taken, and at the same time, they are they're not really bothering tier 3s, tier 2s, and tier 1s. So that'll give a lot of room for the baby guilds to grow into that space. Because right now,
yeah,
you just get crushed if you go in there.
I think if they just limit them to T4s, then it's fine. What we don't want is siege guilds interfering with good fights that everyone else is having, which is what they do. Like psychotically, they're obsessed with just ruining good fights for everyone else in the game. So if they can't do that and they just fight other siege guilds during Node War during the week, fine, who cares? Like, sure, they can do that.
They did some interesting things as well. So they're gear capping Medea and Valencia Siege. So Medea and Valencia Siege will have gear caps.
That's that text that always comes afterwards, but...
And they showed what those caps are. It might be good because the caps are actually pretty decently high. The biggest thing seems to be the cap on defenses more so. So they capped how much evasion you can have and DR as well. So that's kind of interesting.
The problem stats, I guess, is this supposed to counter like CC bot builds or what?
I'm not too sure, honestly. But they capped AP, DP, and evasion and stuff just like T1s. They finally addressed the fact that you could basically one-shot forts. They made it so that gear scaling against forts won't be a thing. Instead, as the battle goes on, forts lose defenses. So at the start of the war, they have damage reduction on the forts and stuff on the base, and then as the battle goes down, the reduction goes down and down. So the way I understand this is you can't stack monster damage against monsters and shit and just like one-shot forts anymore.
I don't think that was ever a thing. I think that's a myth, but yeah, that's a good change though. Making forts weaker as the fight goes on is a good change.
Yeah. And also, so this was probably the biggest things for me in terms of Siege, or one of the biggest things, is they capped how many mercs you can have at 10. So for Siege, you can only have 10 mercs with you during Siege. That is
they finally did massive.
It. Imagine if they had done that in 2018.
They finally did it, man.
Dude, 10 mercs. So now it's like there has to actually
you have to build a guild. You actually have to build a guild to take territory. Imagine it.
Huge, dude. So finally they did it. And Tim, I know you got a lot to say about this, so I'll give you the floor for a little bit.
Oh, thanks, Dad. I don't have a ton to say about it. I mean, nothing that I haven't screamed at the top of my lungs and drunken ranted to every person that I could possibly DM that worked for a company that had any influence towards this game. It's so late. I sincerely don't care. I don't go, oh shit, I blew up my distos, now I can't Siege. It's like, I just don't fucking care. Years ago when Siege was fun, they needed to have these changes. They needed to have the time to kill sorted out. They needed to have the merc system sorted out. They needed to understand what it was to be running a Siege guild, or even just being in a Siege guild, or even what the fuck Siege was, or how fucking popular it actually was, and how many people really cared about it. It's one of the best parts of this game, bar none. But it needed attention, and it needed intelligent attention. And finally we got it 2 years after I basically quit Siege, and a couple of weeks after just about everybody quit Siege. So I feel bad for people who are excited about this, quite frankly, because it's just not going to be enough. I think the 3 bill thing will make it like a fake, I think that's going to skew the success of this, because I think there's people like her who, if they did all of this without 3 billion, I'm not trying to speak for you, but it sounds like if they did all this but didn't give you 3 billion if you won, would you want to merc? Would you participate?
Well, it's kind of different, because the main reason I don't do Siege is because I don't want to be forced to play one of the 3 or 4 classes that just overly dominate it. That's more so the reason that I don't do Siege anymore, when I used to do it basically every week. But that's kind of a completely different thing, right? Like, that's a class.
But now you're going to do it.
Right. I didn't say I'm going to do it. I said it kind of makes me think like, oh shit, like even if I just join for the fight on Saturday, there's a chance for like a payout, right? I'm not saying that I'm going to do it, but the payout is a big incentive.
I think that's going to skew the success of these changes, because people, 3 bill is what, a couple days worth of grinding, maybe
I mean,
a day
that's
and a
good
half.
though,
if you're-
right? Like people will be like, people have always been saying like, yo, I should be able to make some kind of progression from PvP, right? Like I should be able to make some kind of gains from PvP.
Right.
And
So
I
there's
think,
more.
yeah,
There's,
go
there's
ahead.
more things that they need to do besides just cap mercs and have some sort of gear cap on it, right? It needs more attention. They're gonna have to look at how classes work in that. And so instead, it's like, I don't know, if a product that we're all using came out and it was like, wow, this sucks, we don't want to use this product anymore, and then they make some of the changes and then they give you a $20 bill too every time you use it, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I gotta use this all the time. And so I think they'll just consider that a success and move on when it needs it's there's nothing in a game right now that is like BDO Siege. It is such a gem. And I just the money thing's fine to get people incentivized into it. I'm worried that they're just gonna go, ha ha, got that. Next.
They also made it so that instead you don't have to have a T3 or T4 node anymore. As long as you have any tier of node, you can come to Siege. And I think that's a very interesting thing that would get more guilds into it, right? Because for people that enjoyed like tier ones, they can do their tier one node wars for fun still and still be able to do Siege. Like, what do you guys think about that?
Lowering the bar just shows how bad it is currently, because like if you have to like give away opportunities to make it happen, like it's like this says volumes for how uninterested people are. So, I mean, yeah, people will be able to get into it more, but that doesn't solve any of the core issues. Like, I don't think, I think underlying thing here is they're not really solving some of the big issues. I think the mercenary thing is huge, but yeah, that should have been done forever ago. So it's sort of like,
yeah, I mean, I know all these changes should have happened.
Yeah.
I don't think T1 players are gonna have fun fighting Cho Nation. I guess it's nice that they have the option, but I mean, you kind of already had the option just in the form of merking. So I guess you can bring your whole T1 guild to a siege now. Would there ever be a reason to do that? I'm having trouble thinking of one. I mean, the whole reason you're doing T1s is because you don't want to be doing siege and fighting siege guilds, and you want the lower time to kill and everything else, or the higher time to kill.
I think it's good that, like, the biggest thing from this that I hope it spurs is that it spurs guild loyalty again, because that's been gone for a very long time, where it's like, who cares about building up a guild or like playing with the homies if you can just merc all your boys into a guild every week, right? I think this is really big for kind of like forming some kind of guild loyalty and like strong guilds.
Yeah, so it's a good foundation for sure. And, they've lost the trust of their core audience, and it's going to, that wasn't, that took a long time for that to happen, and it'll take them a long time to rebuild that trust as well. And in the same way, like, these will give good foundations to do actually good changes to the game in the future as well.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, like, obviously it should have been done forever ago.
Sure. I think these are really good.
Step, right? It's a really good step in the direction. Like, it's obviously, it would have been great if this came 2 or 3 years ago, and who fucking knows why they're finally doing this stuff that people have been asking for forever. But I mean, they've been on a pretty good tear the last couple of weeks, but so hopefully it keeps up.
It's too much of a coincidence that Moreland Quits puts out this viral video and all these great changes that we've all wanted for so long. I don't want to gas him up any more than he already is, but it's kind of weird.
I've always thought that it worked this way, and I mean the Prolibus has kind of hinted at this before. Do you remember the weird like hints that Vibes and Richter used to give us about feedback? Like, every time we had a good idea in the partner Discord, they would always be like, "Oh, like we'll be sure to send that over to them. Oh, by the way, anything you can do to indicate to the devs that this is a big issue gives us more." They were very like careful how they worded it, but basically the idea was like, anything we could do to increase the amount of fuel to convince the devs that it was actually something worth paying attention to. If there was a big viral Reddit thread or something, or a big YouTube video with a ton of views, like the feedback people, whoever those are, can actually use that to go to the devs and go to the higher up, the decision makers, and say, hey, look, here's the proof that this thing actually does need to be changed, that people do care about this. Because without that, I just don't think they have any meaningful way of differentiating feedback. I think they're getting 1,000 bad ideas from 12 different regions, and they just ignore it all because most of it should be ignored. And so, I mean, there's definitely some extent to which a big YouTube video or a big Reddit thread or whatever allows devs who want to make good changes have the actual justification to finally make those changes in a way that they didn't before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly do think like they really do listen to or like not listen to, but like really, it's like they have to have some kind of video that has a ton of views or some kind of post that has a lot of upvotes or just something like that. And they, as like a metric of like, this is important, which is really weird. I'm not sure why it is that way, but I mean, it is.
Well, it's because you have 500 people at the company. And I mean, if you have like, I don't know how many people are working on Siege, but I imagine you've got one, cabal of programmers or devs who think that we should have changes A, B, and C. And then you have another group who thinks, no, that's terrible. We should do changes D, E, and F. And the leadership of the game doesn't have a solid enough vision to just say like, this is what we're going to do. This is the right path forward. I think they're constantly listening to 5 different voices and trying to decide, okay, well, this week we're going to go with voice A. All right, well, next week we're going to go with voice B. Oh, yeah, this week voice C made a really good point. Let's try their thing for a bit. And it's like, it's so hodgepodge and back and forth. I just think there's way too many fucking cooks in the kitchen. That's the feeling I've always got with that game.
Yeah, and they also
and a lack of cohesive leadership to like put that together. You know what I mean? It's like too many cooks and also not enough head chefs, or not as strong enough head chef.
And it's like some of the people in charge also aren't really that good at determining what is a good way of gathering feedback. Because I mean, we all remember like how they've said multiple times where they balance off of things like RBF kills and siege kills. And we've gone over this many times where it's like if someone plays a shit class and they're at siege, they're gonna make the class look good because you're only gonna take someone who's like a god at their shit class, whereas something like a wizard or a sage that someone can just hop on and just ass fuck people without any effort is going to look more mediocre because there's more people there and they don't take that skill requirement to get in. So
yeah, or they're just a heal bot and they save 20 of their teammates, but they don't actually get any kills.
Yeah, exactly. But overall, I think these are really good changes. We'll see how far it goes. I'm sitting here looking at the gear cap for the Medalla territory in Valencia, and it's kind of hard. I'd have to like crunch some numbers to figure out what the cap is. But so they gave us, so the AP limit is 481, but it's attack limit. So it's like your sheet AP plus your brackets because this new
because they finally tell you that now. Yeah, amazing. Yeah. I love that.
So it's like 481 is the attack limit. And for the Media Siege, 500 for the Valencia. And then they have individual caps for your evasion and your damage reduction. And they add in like brackets and things. So I'd have to like kind of crunch the numbers and figure out.
That's really easy to hit. That's very easy to hit.
But yeah, it's like really low caps. So I do feel like it allows more people to get in it, but it's just one of those things where it's like, now they really got to touch on the class meta thing. And I don't know if they can fix that, right? Like that's always a thing in these games where like range is so powerful. So I don't know how they're going to figure it out, to be honest.
There's plenty of ways to do it. I mean, the simplest mechanic would simply be that damage falls off over distance. That's what a lot of games do with projectiles.
Yeah. And that's it for the siege things. Anybody got anything to say about that?
Yeah, I think it's a good step in the right direction. I think they need to take many more steps in order to get, reinvigorate the community to start playing it again in a large way and start attracting new players to the game. Because a lot of people have just been burned by how poorly they've handled it for 5 years. So I think it's a good step in the right direction, and we'll have to see what they do in the future.
Yeah, I think it's a good change in the right direction. We're gonna
So
see
that's
how
it.
goes.
That's all the changes.
Well,
I feel like there was other big stuff.
Oh,
there.
there
that's
was-
all
oh,
the
yeah.
changes. That's all the changes for the NAEU side of Siege. So they added some Korean only changes because apparently Korea's siege is like fucked even more so than ours. They made it so that now only in Korea only one guild can hold a single territory. So like one guild can't own multiple territories because apparently like their siege scene is so dead that one guild will take like 3 territories or something like that. Like that's
love
how
that.
much they hate PvP. So now they've made it so on Korea's server only, a guild can only have one territory. And they added a couple other things that are Korean only, but I don't really understand a lot of them.
List them out. I'll help.
Hold on one second. So there's the one where they were talking about one guild can only own one of Baelno, Serendia, Calpheon, Medaya, Valencia, Siege Wars. They added in these Medal of Honors for Siege in Korea only. That gives you like extra rewards. I guess they're really trying to push for Koreans to do Siege.
Well, they need somebody to test it for them, and the Koreans don't want to test it.
Beta server.
Yep.
Yeah, and they added this medal that will be given to the top 5. It says an additional medal will be given to the top 5% of adventurers with high score in the winning guild.
Now you already get medals right now, so it's probably just you get even more if you're a top performer.
It said they're adding brilliant Medal of Honor instead of the regular Medal of Honor. It said brilliant Medal of Honor is a personal reward for Node Wars will be added to the Korean official server. So the way I understand it's a new item that's just going on the Korean server. That's why it's kind of weird because like
What's the
every
reward
now and
for
then,
this item? Do we know?
It says it doesn't really list out any rewards for it. It goes on to say reward for first place in victory activity. You get Glory of the Battlefield, which is 500 increase in HP for 4 hours whenever you use the item. It's not very well fleshed out.
It seems like they're just scammering to get something in the game for people to do it more.
Yeah, I think they're really trying to make a push to get people to PvP on Korea. I never knew that like Korea was so anti PvP until they showed us the numbers recently.
Bro, do you know that they have a completely different commerce system than we do?
They had the same
yeah, a
one
lot
that
of
we
people
had when I
don't know
played
this.
there.
No, if you die, if you're red and you die in Korea to a player, it will downgrade your gear as if you took a PvE death.
Yeah, you can have that happen on NA too.
Absolutely not.
Well,
no,
on
you
NA,
must,
it's
you
only
have to die to
PvE.
monsters to downgrade your gear. Another player cannot downgrade your gear in NA.
Yeah.
If you don't have any crystals, your gear downgrades.
No, not in PvP, Potion. That is wrong.
Yeah, not in PvP.
Oh yeah, like
it will break your crystals, but it won't downgrade your gear in PvP.
they have King Grassbill like downgraded a Pin Dandy doing it. There's been several people who
Doing what?
Doing PP. They broke all the crystals and all their other gear, and then like they downgraded their gear. He downgraded like a Tech Black Star at one point. Like there's several times that he's downgraded gear.
Show me the clip.
Chat saying he died to a mob. I'm pretty sure he died to a mob.
I was perma red on my Kuno for over a year. I feel like I know how this works, unless they changed it and didn't tell me. But yeah, I mean the reason why I know it's different is because when Xbox launched, we had the Korean rule set, and people were getting their plus 15s downgraded at Ogres
That
while
was
they were
so
red.
cool.
And it was fucking wild. And then we had to ask the Korean devs, like, yo, why is our gear downgrading in PvP? And we found out that is how it worked in Korea the entire time.
Yeah, maybe in Korea the difference is that even if you have crystals in your gear can downgrade. Maybe that's the difference.
Potion.
I don't know.
You can't downgrade PvP. You cannot downgrade someone's gear in PvP in NA. I don't know where you're getting the information that you can.
It's only because I was red on my tamer for a very, very long time, and I never had my gear downgrade because I didn't even bother to put crystals back in.
Yeah, neither did I.
I died so many times, and I never like lost any downgrades. But I have downgraded a piece of gear from PvE death.
Maybe I just have a fundamental misunderstanding on that. Then
Yeah, absolutely. From PvE, it can downgrade.
Yeah.
um,
And that's about it, right?
that's it
Do you
for
guys see anything else
the
to know?
PvP stuff. Like they did a sheet that came into the game. So that was a pretty big. Obviously, Ataraxion, the dungeon, got added to the game. They did Twitch drops. At the same time, to get like a 20-hour Twitch drop, I thought it was ironic because they were doing that in competition with New World releasing its preview or its closed beta, right? So I think that's kind of ironic that they did that because they're basically paying Amazon because Amazon's game came out. So I thought that was kind of fun. They streamed Ataraxion before Ataraxion was added to the game, which really kind of rubbed me the wrong way because you're just spoiling the entire dungeon for the community. So I thought that was really strange, and it was already bad enough they came out in Korea, but now to stream it, all you're doing is just ruining it for players even more. So that was a little strange.
Did they like have all the answers? Like did like a walkthrough of the dungeon?
I think they just did a whole playthrough of it. I didn't watch it. So I don't know exactly how they accomplished it. But
I don't think they showed the whole thing. It was only like 30 minutes, right?
yeah, so probably the first two encounters.
Yeah, they showed the first puzzle. Yeah. Inlave is in the chat. He said they stopped after the first puzzle because I watched a little bit of it and they didn't go that long time.
I still feel like that's super strange for that to happen. You know,
that's kind of just MMO culture in general, though, right? Like nobody wants to actually figure things out. They just want the strat given to them on day one.
Yeah, I guess that's true to some extent. I don't think it's everybody though. I think that's just the casual MMO audience.
I'm glad that they added it in. Like, what do you got? So one of the biggest gripes that I've seen about the dungeon that they added is it's not instanced. Now, I honestly don't hate that it's not instanced because I remember like some older games where like dungeons weren't instanced, right? Like, isn't that just like a WoW product of making all the dungeons?
Yeah, WoW was the first game that made everything instanced, and then everybody copied them after that. Before that, everything was open world and freely accessible by their players, and it was, of course, it was better. I mean, like, people just don't remember what games were like back then. We're all boomers now.
Like, obviously, it's kind of weird, or it kind of sucks that literally someone can grief your puzzles. Like, someone can literally come into your puzzles, grab what you need, and just like walk away. And you have to flag on and kill them. Like that part, I can see that part is annoying, but I don't.
This is bad design, though.
They have to make it.
Yeah, that's an easily solvable problem.
That's just like in New World, that'd easily be a huge problem in New World. But the way they do is everybody gets their own loot. So even if you just hit the mob one time or you go up to the same box, like everybody just gets loot from the box. You know, so like I feel like this is the design flaw on them. I feel like the players' problem is X disappeared, and that's an issue. So make it where I don't have to deal with other people. But the developers should see that and say, "Oh, the core issue here is actually that we just need to make sure that everybody can do it, even if they're in the same zone." So I don't know.
I mean, I personally like that the dungeon is open. I still have to do it. I gotta like find a group of people to run it with me. So I want to try to do it maybe today or tomorrow just to kind of experience it because there's been a couple people have been saying that they really enjoyed running it. I know Blonde Bear has run it multiple times and finding like little hidden lore tidbits and stuff like that and has been enjoying it. So, and I haven't tried it myself.
Yeah, I think overall, like, I think the boss is what I'm excited for. I'm looking forward to the challenge of beating the final boss, which is instanced, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. The final boss is instanced.
I'm trying to think. What do you think of the rewards for the dungeon in like the Dawn of Baal or whatever the new earring is called?
I think that it's okay that the rewards aren't crazy. So I've seen a lot of people kind of complaining that the rewards are poop. But you also have to think, right? This is the first dungeon of 4, right? and each one that comes out is supposed to be more difficult than the last. So the assumption would be that this one would have the worst rewards. And some people have been saying it's like 300 mil for a clear, right?
So to make it efficient, you have to do it at least in 1 hour. If you do it longer than an hour, then it's inefficient.
I mean, I guess it just really depends, right? Like,
I mean, that's all it comes down to, right? Because
it depends if you enjoy it, right? If you have fun doing it.
That's the problem with everything in that game, right? Is that everything gets boiled down to silver per hour because nothing is inherently enjoyable.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like, there's been a bunch of people I've seen from some of the content creator discords that have like had a lot of fun running it. So that's why I want to run it, to see like if it's actually fun, you know, instead of something where it's like, okay, I have to boil this down to silver per X amount of minutes that you're in there. So I think that might be interesting to see.
I think for sure, without a doubt, the dungeon is. We're really harsh, right? On BDO as all four of us. But I mean, like, I do think that it is a very fun experience to go through as a BDO player for your first time or second time. Like, that's going to be something that's really enjoyable. Like, first time do it on easy, then you can do it again on hard later on when you get more gear. Like, I think that's going to be a really solid experience for people, and they'll like that. I think the question is, you know, what is the motivation to do it past the enjoyability, which just comes down to profit at that point, right? And that's where I think there might be an issue.
I mean, it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, we'll have 4 dungeons in, and you know, you could have your static group. When it's all said and done, you'll have your 4 dungeons, and I guess you could like pick a night and you all run through all the dungeons in like a group, just shooting the shit in Discord, having a good time, right? Like, I mean, that's kind of like the end game that I see it as, is once we have all the dungeons, and if each one is supposed to be harder than the last, so you would think that they're going to have better and better rewards, and just being able to run them with a static group and just shoot the shit for a night in Discord, right? Like, that's the way I kind of see the end game of it, or at least I hope it kind of is, maybe.
Now, ironically, if they actually make the story good, which is a big if, then, and you have to do them in sequential order, right? Then you do the first dungeon in order to start the storyline, and then you get continue the storyline in the second one. And I feel like that actually might be a motivation to do it by itself. And if that ends up being the case, I think that'd be really fun, because they really don't have a solid story in BDO, and I feel like this dungeon might be the first opportunity, if they do it well, to do that.
Yeah, I mean, all of the dialogue and stuff that I've seen so far seems to be, it's voice acted in 3 different languages. So they got English, Korean, and Japanese. So I don't know how good the lore is so far.
I would be shocked if the story was even remotely decent.
It needs to be no reading, just voiced.
Apparently, Blonde Bear has been really blown away by it, and there's a couple others that have really been enjoying.
Blonde Bear's such an optimistic guy.
He's easily impressed.
I mean, Blonde Bear is super optimism, but
I'm
gonna give it a shot, dude. I'm gonna go into it and give it a shot. Okay, I'm gonna give it a shot and see. Like, I'm gonna have the subtitles on, and we'll just listen, and I will report back to you guys on if the lore is good / enjoyable. Okay, I'll be the test subject.
Awaiting.
How can it?
Yeah.
How can a story? How can you create a story in a world that has such uninteresting lore? Literally, nobody could possibly be fucked to.
I mean, there's a lot of lore.
The lore is good in BDO. It's just the delivery is absolutely the worst in the history of video games.
I bet you didn't know that Stryker's clones are actually future iterations of himself that he's able to summon. I bet you also didn't know that Tamer's dog
is that why they have better accuracy than he does?
Tamer's dog isn't actually a dog. It's a ink creation of the wolf that raised her when she had to flee from Valencia.
I'm already fucking bored.
I'm just letting you know that the lore is there. You're just too fucking stupid to read, Tim. All right?
Listen, I followed the lore of this game very closely. Back in the Belmorn days. Do y'all even know who Belmorn is? They deleted him from the game and replaced him with a catfish who doesn't even have an identity.
Wait. Belmorn is no longer in Serendia? I think he's still in Serendia.
I mean, he was never really.
I have
answered.
done
He
some pretty
possessed
terrible.
Jordine for a while, but
Yeah.
you fight Belmorn down in like Kepler or something.
Oh
But
my
they like got
God.
rid of that shit, and now you just fight Catfish Cube. Who the fuck is that? What does he have to
Yeah,
do with
he was-
anything?
Fought him.
He was the level 50
Catfish
quest,
cube.
right? The guy you
Yeah,
fought.
the level 50 quest used to be
Yeah.
fight the awakened Belmorn. You had to fight Jordine possessed by Belmorn, and there was a whole thing. And
Oh, you
He-
still
he-
do that, don't you?
yeah, the whole main story was like Jordine on a path to free Serendia from Calpheon, and so he invited the evil spirit Belmorn to help him, and it was like this whole like Game of Thrones like evil magic thing, and then Alrundi and the peasants, and dude, yeah, there was some great stuff in the early game, but then they just like deleted it all and replaced it with Catfish Cube.
Jordine's
think,
a really
I
weird
think
thing to
he's
name your
still
son.
there in like a different, in like some way, but it's not like they definitely changed the level 50.
Not in a
quest.
way that's
he's not the
coherent.
level 50 boss, but yeah.
Real quick, Kurt, don't ever talk to me like that again.
I'm sorry, Tim.
Not yet. You're not.
But yeah. Again, like there's good lore. It's just they're not good at delivery, dude. They're not very, very good at delivery at all.
Yeah, neither are
Which
you.
is- Damn, dude, are you hurt? Do you need a hug?
So we've been teaching Potion Shop about banter, and I saw him smile when I said that because I think he got it. I think he saw that it was banter. He's been doing really well with it. It's been
I
really
wasn't
fun.
sure. I thought you were gonna have another breakdown.
That's been one of the most enjoyed. What?
Yeah, banter is like blows my mind. It literally is like I'm like you wrap your mind around something, right? It's like you wrap your hands around that topic. I'm like right here, right now, trying to get banter underneath control. It's bro, it's a mess. My head is like.
It's basically 99% of Game Nadian's communication is banter. But yeah, no. One of the cool things about this week is getting to know Potion Shop a little bit better and spend some time in Discord with you. It's been fun, man.
Yeah, I really have enjoyed it, and like we've talked and stuff like that, and I feel like I don't know, like for me, like video games has always been like a solo thing for the majority of my life, and it's really been fun getting into MMOs because I was always looking for like a good MMO, and the really good thing about MMOs is the social nature of them. That really is it, and I've just been so I don't know apprehensive about actually doing that kind of stuff, like. I mean, we've been in like Last Oasis now, BDO, and now in New World, and it's like I feel like I'm just playing with the boys now, and I really enjoy that experience.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get too off topic there. I do want to put my 2 cents
You're
in
good,
about the dungeon.
God, here we go, dude. Brace for impact.
I think it's the best idea, and it's the reason I'm coming back to BDO.
Shut the fuck up,
I knew
dude.
it. I knew it.
I'm gonna apply to be a BDO partner, and between that and the capping siege mercs, I think BDO and I are about to have a redemption arc.
Take any bets on how long it takes Tim to get banned?
I knew you were gonna come back, Tim. I knew it.
I'm totally joking, dude. I think putting a fucking dungeon in BDO is about the dumbest thing you could possibly
Nope.
do.
I knew
It's-
you were gonna come back. You can't stay. The game is so good that no one can stay away from it. That's what I've learned since I quit.
It doesn't make any sense to me. If maybe if they hard press the lore or something and come up with some story about Jordine and her lost dog and how the striker
guy.
clones ate
It's a
my
guy,
lunch.
you fucking
Jordine is a
degenerate.
man. He's a power. He's the wolf of Serendia. Okay.
I'm really surprised you
He's
didn't
a
know that
fucking
actually.
legend,
my bad.
bro.
My bad. Sorry. So if they tie all those things together and have a great
Didn't you
little
play Shadow Arena?
story. Yes, I did.
You think Tim's good at PvP, bro? Tim played Wizard. The fuck?
Oh my god.
And Guardian.
It just doesn't make sense to me. You played Guardian. Fuck you. What's wrong with you today? For me, it seems like they're just, so many people log in the game. It's focusing on new players, that log in, know nothing about why the game's good or bad, and just go, we enter dungeons. So that's what they did. They put a fucking dungeon in there. I'm going to feel the same way about BDO's dungeon as I will if New World gets mounts. You're an idiot for listening to the idiots.
I feel that way about New World's dungeons as well, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
it is pretty
but,
dog shit. Not gonna lie.
But at the very least, this game doesn't have like a heritage and a reputation for being something else. It probably makes sense to have dungeons in New World.
But does it not make sense to also have dungeons in BDO?
No, it doesn't.
No.
Not even close. Grind in a circle and shut the fuck up. That's it. That's BDO. Congratulations.
Here's what BDO needs. Instead of a theme park dungeon, BDO needs an infinite dungeon where you go deeper and deeper, and the mobs get harder and harder, and the loot gets better and better, and then you die and you get kicked out and you have to start over. That's what BDO needs.
Right, a dungeon that fits to its mechanics of what makes it a good game, not a WoW dungeon.
Okay,
with some
bro,
puzzles.
but listen, New
and
World.
lore.
Okay, listen, dude. I know this is the shit on BDO Parade, but New World literally started out as a fucking survival PvP game. They added an instance dungeon, and you think that fits more than BDO getting a dungeon?
No,
Did you play the game when it was an open world?
I know, but
PvP
that's
thing?
what Tim said.
Did you play it then?
Tim said
Did you
it
play it
fits
then?
it.
It fits it more than it does in BDO by a landslide.
think-
It
I mean-
needs something like this.
Yeah,
Yeah, New World needs content. BDO doesn't need content. BDO just needs to stop like hating what it is and just be what it is. And
Yeah, it needs to
lean
be
into
honest
the good
with
parts.
itself. Yes,
But couldn't the same thing be said about New World, where it's like changed completely
It's-
180?
New World's not
the
out
last
there.
year?
Yeah,
That's
of
the
course. The
difference.
game's completely different.
New
than it
World
used to
still
be.
has stem cells, dude. It can morph into whatever it needs to be. It's not even it. It hasn't. It's a good analogy. It hasn't even come out, man.
Yeah, they don't
Hey,
even know.
if
what
you're not
kind of game
smart
they're
enough for
making.
my conversation, I'll dumb it down for you.
By the time New World launches, it's gonna be a fucking Roblox clone.
You're not wrong. There's a chance.
Anything could happen, brother. Anything.
It's
could
gonna be a
happen.
battle royale Tetris clone by the time it
I could
actually
even
launches.
clone. I could even reform. I could reform. Anything could happen.
I hope you have fun doing the dungeon, Kerr. I'm not trying to be pessimistic.
yeah.
I just feel like there's a 99% chance that you're going to enjoy it the first time and then have no desire to ever do it again. I could be completely wrong. I just would bet literally all my money that I'm not.
Lots of dumb people
We'll
have fun
see.
doing dumb things, so I'm sure you'll be fine, Kerr.
We'll see.
You really
okay?
are hurt about that.
He's been kind of a bitch to me today, so now he's getting it.
I like it, dude.
I know you do. It's how he flirts with me. He's jealous that I'm going out with somebody else.
After
instead
being
of him
in
tonight.
Discord with Kerr and New World, I believe it. All right, the conversations that Kerr comes in and starts are outrageous.
I'm innocent, bro. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that got added. Is there anything else that was added?
The
They
stat
gave us
page.
the stat screen. Yeah, the
Yep.
stat page. Stat
How's
page.
it look?
It's pretty nice. Just having
Does
like
it
all
still
your
hide
numbers.
half the shit, or does it actually show you everything?
The only thing that's not included on it are your
Shows most
skill
things.
ability buffs and your skill add-ons, which is fair because they are already listed to you. You don't need to find those.
But
And-
it actually shows like your class evasion. Like a ninja has a higher
Yep.
evasion
Yep.
with no gear on than other classes.
Yep. So is
Yep.
all that.
Wow, that's
I'm really
so
curious to
proud
see
of
a
him.
few of them. A few of them.
It's really weird to get around it because somebody asked me earlier. They were like, "Where can I grind 438 AP ninja?" And I was like, "Wait, what the fuck, bro?"
Yeah,
You
you're
got-
gonna have to relearn. I
was
mean,
like,
that's how we
dude-
should have been. That's what we should have been doing this whole time, though. Like people would ask me how much AP I have, and I'm like, well, I have this amount of AP, but that's with a Kudum, not a Nuver, and it's also with Pin Blackstar, but not Awaken Blackstar. And like, there was no way to properly articulate how much effective AP you had in that game. And so, yeah, they needed to do that. The whole syntax needs to change.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and-
really nice. It even shows you like how much like monster damage and shit added together that you have and stuff like that.
I feel like it's a step in the right direction. The thing they need to do now is they need to actually update the UI because the UI right now still says the old information. And so because the UI says the old information, it makes it really, really, really hard to communicate because you open up your stat page and you have to open up the all information page and then you have to like go grind the grind spot and be able to figure out what that actually means in the game, you know? Because the recommended APs don't match. They match your gear screen, like in quotation gear, not your actual gear. So the communication front on it is so poor right now, and it'll be very confusing for new players until they fix that.
Yo, so if you open the stat screen and pop your e-buff, it actually updates. And then when your e-buff goes away, the stats go away. It updates in real time.
Wow, that's
Wow.
huge.
That means it actually looks at your character and is not just a separate disembodied UI like
That's
the previous
cool.
one.
I don't know if
would-
you guys are joshing me, dude, but that's kind of cool.
Yep,
okay,
that's
dude?
good.
No, it
That's
is
very, very
yeah,
good.
it's-
Yeah.
I was about to say though, I'd be super embarrassed if I was on the dev team of this game and 5 years goes by the time you can see your fucking stats in real time or not real time. I just kind of, it's absolutely insane to me. But yeah, it's cool.
It is cool and also something that should have been in the game during beta.
It's just sad.
What else? Is there anything else that I can think of that they added in this week?
It would be
Mm,
great if the host came prepared.
Fuck you, Tim. I wasn't the host. I was just doing the intro. But I've taken on the role.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I think that's about it for BDO, right? Do you guys want to finish up your New World talk?
I just got unbanned.
Wait,
Oh,
just
you
now?
got
You got
unbanned?
unbanned early?
Yeah, 4:20 Eastern, bro. That's when the
Oh,
real
it's already been
420
24
happens.
hours? Dude, time flies.
That was a very long 24 hours, sir.
So explain to me, like, okay, so as someone that didn't do any Siege Wars in New World, explain to me with that PvP, what are like some different strategies that you can do in Siege as compared, you know what I mean? Like from like a shot calling perspective.
I have no idea. Can you elaborate?
Like, for example, it's like, okay, like, can you call, like, you have different groups of people that have different roles and like, how do you control the battlefield as a shot caller in New World, for example?
Very carefully.
You have to have
I'm like, I don't know how to elaborate, bro.
So we had a little PvP practice last night, and we all learned quite a bit. But attacking is obviously going to be way different than defending. There's going to be a lot of like fakes and jukes, basically, because you have to control 3 points before you get into the main fort to take that over.
Did Tim's internet go out?
Tim?
He's frozen with his mouth open.
unlucky.
Tim?
Nope, I'm
Well,
good.
Yeah.
Oh,
You back?
wait,
he's
can you hear
back.
me? Oh, I thought
He's
I got
back.
banned again, dude. It got lag detected. I freaked out. There's thunderstorms out again. So there's a couple different strategies. You know, when you're attacking, there's those 3 different lanes. And actually, you have to break down a door to get into the fort afterwards. So there's a couple strategies for that too. So you go in with, I believe it's 10 groups, and you kind of just sort out, you know, who's in what kind of group. So you need to know before, you know, when you're commanding an army like that, you need to know who's got the prowess and what they've got. So you know, maybe you have all the archers or musketeers in group 7 and 8, you know, so if you need to move your range, you go, okay, group 7 over there. So you've got group 8 is doing range with this platoon or whatever. And then you've got those guys picking off people on the siege machinery or however, you know, you have it set up. You know, you have healers peppered in all the way through. And then there's a couple different tank things. So you really play around. You're going to want to play around people's strengths.
Okay.
So like if you need to push in, you know, get the sword and boards, long swords up front, and then push in together like that, you have to change it up a couple different ways. Maybe do a range push first, get a couple of key picks, then push in hard. Or maybe they're pushing in behind you and you just hold the line, cast on them. Maybe you find there's a couple of high points where you can cast down. There's a lot you can do because there's so much diversity in the weapons. That's one of the reasons I'm really excited about doing this. Is I do like the strategy and the macro of large scale PvP, but there's so much to discover and so much has changed since preview. Before it was just get a life staff, go ho, you know, and then there's a bubble where everybody's basically invincible unless you get in there. All that's gone now. So it's kind of a new meta. Unfortunately, it seems it's going to be some lowbrow fucking great axe shit, but we'll 100% be able to get around that because if you equip Hatchet, Gravity Well is going to do fuck all. So there'll be a couple different ways, and there's a lot of different ways to skin this. And I think the most important thing is going to be finding out what these guys' meta is and either doing it better than them or circumventing it and finding a counter to it. And I think that's going to evolve pretty rapidly over these 2 weeks.
Yeah, not only is the meta going to evolve rapidly, but the devs are going to do knee-jerk buffs and nerfs that are going to change everything before launch anyways. So yeah, we're going to have like 5 different metas in the first month of the game is my prediction.
I saw some pretty interesting, because I was kind of like digging through, like they do these little patch log things where they kind of tell you everything that they change when they change something. And they made it so that range projectiles go through friendlies. So was that like not a thing? Like if you were trying to shoot into a ball or something, like your teammates could body block?
It was one of the biggest reasons people were so against range is you just shoot some idiot would walk in front of you.
I like that, dude. I like that.
Interesting.
They need to bring that back.
If I would be more for it if it was like friendly fire, so people would care about it. But unless when you shoot one of your friends in the back of the head, they don't get fucking yeeted, then just get rid of it.
Dude, I think range is so brain dead right now. You just sit in the back and do free damage and no one can do a goddamn thing about it.
And yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm shocked at the amount of damage it can do. I think the damage is overtuned on musket.
I think spear and musket is gonna be my go-to because it's been really nice, even in like 1v1s with how fast and seamlessly. I don't know how it was during like previously, but with current iteration of like spear and musket, you can do the leg sweep, switch to matchlock basically instantly, shoot them twice, switch back to spear, vault kick, shoot them once with the musket, switch back, and like you could cycle between your CCs while like constantly being able to pepper them with the matchlock, even if they get close. It's pretty crazy.
That's my next thing to play around with now that I've got the spear.
You can even
musket when people are on the ground and just pop them.
Yeah, so like I had the matchlock, right, or the spear and the musket, and you can hit someone with the spear, knock them down, and throw the snare trap on top of their body for when they get up, granting you free headshots, and then go back into spear CC. Like you do some really crazy things in combat. So I've been liking the combat a lot because of those aspects.
Is this disruptive potion?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm curious to see how well that stuff works in large scale, though.
Yeah. Obviously, none of that is going to be like a thing in large scale because then you got to worry about third partying and random shit. Like I think the hammer is going to be fucking crazy because being against 2 guys that have a hammer, it's like, what do you do? Because they're like blasting your block and they have so much CC and like damage and stuff. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, there's no cap on CC. That's you can really get juggled pretty hard.
Yeah, you can just get perma juggled. It's kind of crazy, which is not. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but yeah.
I think actually like the low key item right now that's really good is in large scale is probably going to be the bow poison. Bow poison I think is going to be really good for offensively because you can push people off the wall and they have to back up.
True, yeah.
Or they have to get off their turret. Or if there's like all grouping up on the gate, right, then they're gonna have to back off. So I think like 3 or 4 bow people like just putting down poison on like the air, like the control points, is just gonna be really strong.
Firestaff's AoE is really good for that too. But we used to use smoke bombs in preview for the vision denial. Like you just have no idea what was going on. They changed that to poison.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, that was I think we had 3 archers just put smoke bombs in the final point, and then we all just berserk hatcheted everybody who came in there. And by the time they saw what was happening, they were fucking dead. So like that meta just kind of happened. That's why we did that training the other night, is just to make sure that everybody's as high personal game IQ as possible. So they can make good decisions, and then the shot callers will be able to play off of that every once in a while too. We've got some gamers in this guild. It should go pretty well, but we could also eat a bunch of shit too. Who knows?
I wanted to ask you guys a question. I don't know if you guys know this, but how does the invasion from PvE happen? Like, how does that work? Because I noticed that before our war tonight, like an hour before, we have a PvE invasion on one of our settlements. Like, how does that work?
Like, imagine you're doing a PvP battleground, but against bots.
So we're gonna have to have a war against bots.
It's basically a bot match, homie. It's quite unfortunate and weird. It's one of those things where the game's lacking in content. If people aren't PvPing, they need something else to pop up, and so that's what they added.
Well, and so we won't be able to defend it tonight, and all it does is like it downgrades. If you want to go, you can go, but it's 30 minutes before a war, so it's kind of a unlucky. When it'll downgrade your your town stuff, but nothing's been upgraded there, so I don't see a point in really even going. Rather just focus everybody up on getting ready for PvP.
Yeah, it's a massive waste of time. I don't know if they've changed it so that you get like XP from it or anything, but in the preview it was a massive waste of time and not that fun or interesting, just very long.
It's 30 minutes to win, roughly.
Bro, a 30-minute bot match, like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's. I don't think that's interesting, of course, but like,
it's not good.
I feel like the reward should be like pushing out and taking their base, and if you can do that efficiently, then you save time, right?
Yeah, and if you could take 50 people and zerg the enemy, and it was like this massive zerg of people versus mobs, and you could chop the demons down and capture their fort and win the thing. Sure, that sounds fun, but sitting there on a turret for 30 minutes shooting at mobs is dumb and bad.
Yeah, I feel like there should be a fort, and then there needs to be crafting gear you get from it as well. So you can either do that or you can do in-game PvE, and maybe those share rewards a little bit. And I feel like that'd be kind of nice.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll probably try one at some point during the beta just to see if they have added anything interesting to it. But
yeah, this could be.
Yeah, it's
sad to hear that it was like really kind of boring to play. I was looking forward to it, seeing like the
they make it sound so cool.
Yeah, like it sounded awesome. It's like we're gonna be infested and we have to like fight off these hordes of enemies.
Of demons as they come towards your settlements.
I feel like that would be really fun if it was like secure your zone type thing, right? Rather than being defend your base, because defend your base is a poor I want to be on offense. I want to kick some ass. Like I feel like it should be like capture your zone from the enemy. We'll have to see. I'm looking forward to giving it a try.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll give it a try, just not tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could be there tonight, guys. I hope you have lots of fun. Uh-oh.
Is there so you're gonna pass the lead to Moreland or somebody?
I don't think I need to, but I will if I have to.
You need to at least make me a console.
Your council. I made a bunch of people council.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we have to have me pass it off, but I can do it if you want me to. Not that crazy about it.
Let me see if I can manage it now. I couldn't manage it earlier as an officer.
Yeah, you 100% can as council.
Is there anything else that we needed to talk about?
Your
I feel like
attitude.
there's lots of stuff to talk about in regards to
so
New World,
much.
but
Yeah, what specifically do you guys want to touch on?
I gotta say, on the invasion thing, I was freaking out when I heard that we were not going to defend it, because I was like, I thought that it was just like a regular player versus player thing where you lose the region. I was like,
no.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're gonna lose the region.
No.
Oh my!
I was like
bro,
100,000 gold gone.
Bro, that's what I was thinking, bro. I was freaking out. But I'm glad to hear that wasn't the case. This is research.
I am excited we're on the same server as Cathalion, and we get to push those boys around a little bit.
I still don't know who that is.
King Nathalion was a really famous server crash.
He had
is that what happened?
5,000 viewers or something.
Yeah.
And then Facebook paid him $6 million to be a Facebook streamer.
Bro, he got $6 million to go to what's it called?
So that's a Fortnite streamer or something? Who is he?
No, he's some 40-year-old boomer gamer.
He played MMOs and random games.
So I have hope.
He's like a variety streamer.
He got definitely. He played Destiny and blew up on Destiny, getting thousands of viewers there. And then he got paid $6 million to go to Mixer. And then if he could have denied the Facebook contract, but he didn't, so he gets another $6 million to go to Facebook. I think that's basically how it works. I don't know the exact details of the contract, but I think that's what it is. So he's gotten $12 million, and he streams to I don't know, 300 to 600 viewers or something like that. So,
is it that? Oh shit!
Yeah,
I don't know how Facebook Gaming's going.
Damn,
be fucked to have one.
Yeah.
If I already had 6 mil, I don't think I would take another 6 mil to end my channel. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Never have to work again for $12 million.
I mean, that's kind of a.
I don't give a.
It's kind of
If
a no-brainer.
You already have the 6 mil though. You would take another 6 mil to cut your channel in half again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if you have 6 million, probably isn't enough to like retire and live like super comfortably. First, use the first 6 million to like buy some house,
What are
buy
you
some
buying?
homes and cars, and then put.
6 mil's not enough for you to be comfortable.
Not if you get sick.
Well,
you need a
I
lot
wa-
of money, man. So I would
I
take
would
the
be
second
uncomfortable
6 mil.
streaming on Facebook for the rest of my life. That's what would
No,
make
it's
me
not. It's not versus life.
I'd be fine with 6
I'd
mil.
take the second.
Oh
I'd take
no,
the
it's not.
second 6 mil.
It's not forever. I think it's like 4 years or less contract.
That's way too long. That's way too
But
long.
the thing is, like when he comes back, it's gonna be like for him, since he's a fairly large Twitch streamer or was, right? When he comes back, it's gonna be like the coming back of Shroud because people love the dude.
4 years for 12 mil, bro. That's a fucking
Shroud.
steal, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the exact time is, but you can look it up. I think it's public. But yeah, I mean, it'd be like he's going to come back and have like 20,000 viewers in some huge Destiny stream, and then he'll just go play wherever he wants again.
I don't think people still care about Destiny that much, do they?
Oh, Destiny's
there's-
huge. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's still quite a bit of volume over there.
Okay.
I thought about Destiny's okay. For me, it's like a lack of content. I want to like it, but the loot shooter kind of WoW thing just doesn't. It doesn't make a ton. I had fun playing Destiny 1 on my PlayStation 3 in my bedroom with a bunch of British people I couldn't understand. And I did it for like 2 weeks, and I was like, okay, I got like some rare weapon, and that was it. It didn't really have like the depth, I think, to like really sink teeth into. And I think especially when you're streaming in a game, it's got to have depth, or else you just lose your fucking soul. Right, boys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Sure,
think the main
bud.
thing that is hurting is sort of like the same thing that BDO is starting to hurt from. It has like dailies, and so you have to do your dailies, you got to do your weeklies, and then you're rotating through things you don't want to do. And I feel like it suffers a lot from that.
I didn't think the Destiny 2 dailies were like
They're not-
tedious.
No,
They weren't bad.
They're not.
They
they're not
weren't like
egregious.
magnets. How do they work? And
Because their
WoW
game's
and,
actually
Wrath
like
of the Lich
somewhat
King.
fun. Their game is somewhat fun, so you don't really mind doing them too much because every part of the dailies are actually enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of cool, flying around and shooting stuff, with a rocket launcher instead of like hitting tab in World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the Wrath of the Lich King dailies, dude. That was like peak dailies. It was so bad.
Tim, are you feeling better about New World now?
Am I feeling better about it?
Yeah, you feeling better about your progression? Are you still doing town board or what are you doing?
I am waiting to
they
log
nerfed
in. I know they did nerf it. We had a insane amount of discussion about that in the Discord this morning. Mostly because
Interaction
Ghost Rex is
against
one of
it.
the dumbest person I've ever met. But no, but seriously, it's the debate. I guess the EXP group. I don't want to give away like all the secrets, but when it was on 10-minute cooldown or 5-minute, it was 5-minute, right? Preview was 10-minute. It
Yes.
was more than double the second best way to grind experience. And so it being nerfed to 30 minutes, all you have to do is like some other shit, go gather a
Right,
little bit
just go
more.
gather a little more, exactly.
Right. And so I think effectively the amount of EXP that it'll be reduced by is very small, but you're going to have to think through it a little bit more to be able to fight against that. So I spent a little time watching Gabe Nadian play and how he's going around and gathering and kind of there's a little bit of dopamine when you like unlock the next level of gathering and you get tools and equipment for it and stuff. So I was a little fucked off about like being forced into that. But, as long as it's efficient, and now that I'm really starting to kind of slow down, take a look, turn the sound up, take a look at the game, and really kind of enjoy the game, cutting down some trees is not the worst thing in the world. And then I think I was in too big of a rush and lost sight of what I was supposed to do, and obviously got way too caught up in playing Windows 95 sounds in the towns. But I'm looking forward to quietly going and logging some trees.
I hope they buff killing mobs because it's fucking garbage that like you can kill a strong mob and get 20 EXP.
I
They
feel like
Why
should,
is that a
because
thing?
we're all going through here and not really hitting too many mobs. We're not really understanding like the differences between the weapons and stuff. It's not really giving us an opportunity to like work on that and shit. So I completely agree that mobs need to be turned up. I don't think the board needs to be turned down necessarily, but you need to have like a life skill way to do it, and maybe you need to have a go out and PvE way to do it too.
Yeah, one of
Yeah, they just need to buff combat a shitload, especially early game. I think the delay to the board refresh was perfect because all that effectively nerfs is people who are getting fed materials. It doesn't really nerf someone who's going out and gathering their own shit because they need a lot of time to do that anyways. So the longer timer doesn't really hurt them. It just hurts people who are standing in town getting fed, and that that's fine. Like, I saw someone who was level 55 yesterday, a big streamer who just had an army of people feeding them levels. Like, absolutely nerf that. Yeah, 100%. But they need to give combat players a competitive way to just level their weapons and their combat as well, so that not everyone is forced to craft.
I really hope what they do is they think about this very carefully, because I would like to see different types of PvE for grinding, right? You have some maybe it's really good, like Mirmux, really good for EXP, really bad for money. And I'd like to see the same thing in this game where you have some spots where you're like, this is the spot you go to and you farm for EXP, but you don't really get any gear. You want gear, you go to the dungeon. Or you go to, the dungeon-like activity in your region, wherever that might be. And so I feel
you're gonna love Scorpius, dude. You're gonna love it.
I feel like separating those out.
Did you guys do Scorpius with us in the alpha?
No.
Potion?
No.
Oh, wait, did you do it? How much of the alpha did you do?
I literally just did the starter zone. That's it. I got to like 25.
Bro, oh my god, like you
Is that the
did all the
Scorpions that were power
shitty
leveling
parts,
people
bro.
with?
You're gonna love this game 10 times more than you do now in a week.
Yep.
That's hard to believe. I'm looking forward to it.
You're really gonna like Scorpius. It's not I know you like things like white and black, right? Like you want, go here for that one thing. But it's a really fast. You have to do it right. It's hard. There's a little bit of learning curve, but once you get it down, and if you have one or two people who are experienced, you can pick up any weapon you want and just start maxing that thing out. And you get such good experience. It's good gold, and then every once in a while there's a rare drop. So it's kind of the answer for that bridge of monotony that happens as you start sliding into the 40s. It's like, all right, this board sucks. Whether it was the PvP missions we were doing in preview or the crafting board we're doing now, you really want something different to help you get to that 55 plus level where doing rifts is viable too. And that's where PvP should be. And that's where the gear really is. And then there's other things that are along with it. But you're really definitely going to like Scorpius and that grind.
The reason I say that is really just because like right now the crafting and low tier stuff is unviable because of the amount of gear you get just simply by playing the game. And I feel like that is an issue that would only be further exacerbated if you encourage grinding activities, right? And I think they should be grinding activities. Don't get me wrong. I think there should be. But they need to carefully weigh, if they're going to boost the XP, they probably need to turn down the loot a little bit as well to compensate for that, so the marketplace doesn't get flooded with like good items to buy.
Well, it's the only way you can get repair kits, so you have to be careful with that. Salvaging stuff. A lot of this stuff is junk.
I think they could. No, I think Potion's right though. They could definitely. They need to make gear like 3 times more rare and just triple the amount of stuff you get from salvaging it. Drops don't feel very good in this game. Even blue drops right now feel kind of underwhelming, and they're super flooded on the market.
Like I've bought all my gear. Like I haven't actually gone and tried earning it or anything. I literally just bought it.
Somebody crafted me gear, and I'm very happily wearing crafted gear.
And I think that's something that should be done, right? That seems like a very rewarding thing for both you and for the person who crafted it. What doesn't feel good is I got 10,000 loot drops and I've been saving them all in the bank, and here you go, right? That doesn't feel good.
I think crafters don't have a very big impact right now until max level.
Yeah, and that's a whole lot of grind.
Because drops while you're grinding, drops while you're leveling are way too common. There should be a little bit more reliance on crafted gear.
Yeah.
From levels 1 to 59. Right now, it's like only the level 60 crafted gear that's really high.
I think in the 35 zones, if I was like, the way I would handle that is in the 35 zones, I would like maybe like increase the XP by 50 or more %. I don't know what the magic number would be, of course, and then probably halve the loot, at least half the loot.
I mean, the other problem is the faction gear, right? Like literally every
Mm.
10 or 15 levels, you just get a free set of very good gear. And it's not free exactly, but it's guaranteed, and that just takes away the sense of progression from the
Such
other
big
activities
power
you're doing.
spikes too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I haven't actually done any of the faction stuff yet. So I haven't
Dude,
got any of that gear.
The more I listen to this game, the sound is like the wind hitting the trees when a gust of wind
Bro.
comes through. It's not all the time.
Go to Cutlass Keys and just listen to like the fucking crickets in the jungle. It's so good.
That's awesome.
Can we go do PvP missions in one of the towns before war for some PvP practice?
Yeah, there's actually a big faction war that was happening in Everfall. Purple's trying to take it. So if you want to flag up and go to Everfall, there's PvP there.
They are gonna take a look at that. Oh my god. Look at
Yeah. They've been blowing up about that for a
That
couple
would
hours.
be
Yeah, I was over there, but they're like big groups. There's like big
Yeah,
groups.
we need to bring
There's-
like 20 people out there and
Yeah,
mob it.
they have a massive amount of people, so the fights are very like if you run in, if it's just you kind of just get fucking keistered.
Well, we have 25 people in the Discord right now. So I'm sure you could put a group together if you'd like.
Oh, that's
I'll reach out to the boys.
you have
And
to
then we
get
have a
all
PvP
25 for that. It's a
We
monster.
have a PvP
group.
ping too. So
There's
if there's
40
somebody who's
people
not
running
on.
circles, bro. I saw them 40 people. They're chasing one dude flagged up there. It's like, get over here! Hey,
Yeah, dude, they literally got the roaming squad.
bro! I was talking to you guys in the podcast and got recorded. Like I saw like 40 people just charging after this one guy. So,
do you want to manage putting the groups together tonight, Merlin?
Yeah.
Did you check
have
that you confirm that you could do that?
what do you guys?
Yeah,
What do
I
you
just
guys?
checked it.
What do you guys feel about the like the town upgrades and stuff like that? Have you guys? You think it's a good system or it's working?
Yeah,
well?
I think it's interesting. I think it's kind of
decent.
unique.
It's kind of cool.
When you own like First Light or something, it was more fun owning First Light than territory that's not viable for like the first 5 days. But once start people doing the town board over there, we will be led to water on what the people need to, complete their crafting and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting.
Dude, those guys gotta have made so much money off of taxes in the first like 3 zones. The people that got those early,
In the
because they all
preview,
have like taxes maxed.
Yeah, I made 50,000 gold a day when I owned First Light in preview. That was what I wanted to go
That's
for, but
crazy.
it got taken right before we got the money for it. So I think next time we'll probably
Everfall's the
grab First
spot,
Light.
dude. Everfall is so fucking good. It's so central.
Yeah.
Everybody's there. That's the place
Everfall
to
and the
be.
one right below it too.
If I had Everfall, I would put taxes pretty low to minimum or pretty close to
Everfall
minimum.
stays relevant though because it's adjacent to Evanscale Reach, and Reekwater. I just feel like it's in such a good spot. It's so central. You can use that as your crafting hub all the way into end game. It touches almost every single other territory.
I don't think it like you need to like keep taxes lower. Like I don't think people would go to another region just because taxes are high.
There's some cunts that are just like really upset about taxes. And so what it would do is because of the location, you could have, if you're the lowest taxed territory and that's centralized, everybody would go to it. So maybe people aren't necessarily dissuaded because of taxes, but if it got out and word was around that like, hey, Aftershock made taxes, the lowest taxes are in the best spot. Let's go there. We'd probably make it up in volume pretty quickly.
I mean, California's taxes are horrendous, and I still haven't moved.
It's true.
Okay, well, it's beautiful there. The weather's really nice.
Yeah, just like
You sell a
Everfall.
kidney every month.
They regrow back.
Literally
right?
live in the worst state for streaming.
Oh, it's your liver, isn't it? Your liver grows
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, sell half your liver every couple months.
Your liver grows back?
How you do it?
Yeah, it
does,
It does grow back.
Tim's
Oh,
the one
good.
buying the livers.
I'll sell you half my liver to work like a tenth of one.
What else do we want to? What was it they changed? I'm trying to think. There was some more change they did to New World for the closed beta. Oh, they have new weapons on the way.
Oh,
Did
do
they
they?
say what weapons?
Apparently, they were data mined.
Oh,
I heard Greatsword is coming.
Great
Ooh.
sword. Ooh, baby.
Yeah, there was one other one too. I think Blunderbuss was another one.
Somebody
is
said
that?
pistols too, right? Blunderbuss and pistols.
Yeah, maybe that
Like
was
a
the one.
Glock 18?
More range.
They definitely need to figure out how to balance range pretty quick because that's going to quickly become a really big problem.
Dude, pistol sounds like it's going to be some short range headshotting shit that's going to be even better to combine with spear than musket is currently.
Oh,
Well, some of those,
dude.
some of those pirates have like a scatter pistol or whatever, you know. That'd be
True,
kind
they
of cool.
do. Some of
If
them
it
have
was
like a shield and a pistol. Yeah.
If it was like a sawed-off shotgun pistol thing, like a judge.
You guys want to like touch on how shit the shields are in the game? Like how unintuitive. I know Moreland
Just how
felt
bad the
pretty.
design is.
Yeah.
There's so many things like that in New World that I don't even know if we could go through them, but yeah,
Probably not worth it.
there's a lot of really weird decisions about like how things are balanced and what's worth doing and what isn't. I don't know. I can't tell if that stuff's going to get fixed post launch. I really hope it does, but I felt that same way about the preview. Like all my problems in the preview were like, wow, this is actually so easy to fix. Everything that's wrong with this game is so easy to fix, and the game could just be amazing. But I can't tell if they're going to actually fix those things.
Yeah,
Part of me like just really wishes they would delay it, but it's one of those things where like it's been delayed so much and
I don't
so
think
much
they can delay
hasn't
it
been
again,
fixed.
especially with all the pre-orders that they've sold and
Yeah.
everything. I don't think they can delay it again.
Yeah, I don't think it's like they're going to delay it at all. But and I also don't think that even if they did delay it, that they would effectively use that time anyway. So the biggest hope is for them to release it and hopefully do a whole lot of post-release work, sort of like how Final Fantasy did and like No Man's Sky and shit like that, where it's like even though they were released with very blatant issues, they worked at them.
Yeah, like the launch is not going to be a disaster. We've seen enough to know that aside from potential server issues, which still seem to be a big problem, the game itself is not going to be a disaster at launch. So we at least know that, and then it'll just be a matter of like a month after launch, are we still having fun, or are all those issues getting to the point where it's like, okay, this shit needs to get fixed now?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it might be the type of game you come back to in 6 months, after playing it for one.
Yeah, like I also like that it doesn't have to be a main 24/7 this is your job game once you're like set up and you have like your trees leveled and you have your gear. It's one of those things where you could just hop on PvP with the boys. You have your set time where people can like siege your castle and share your settlement and shit. So like I like that it could slot into as a nice side game instead of having to be your life, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
But you could also technically make it your life if you just want to fight all the time. Look for PvP. So
you could just log in once a day and do a 30-minute siege, or you can be one of the people out world questing for 6 hours a day, just clapping people all day long. And so there's definitely the potential for hardcore and casual contributions.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing because a lot of people, especially in the MMO genre, they just cannot wrap their head around the concept that you can play more than one game and you don't have to play that game 24/7.
Dude, I get nagged about that all the time. Is this your main game now? It's like, can I just play more than one thing? Hello?
Yeah, and I don't know if that's like just an MMO thing because like
it's absolutely an MMO thing.
Yeah, because like with shooters, like people bounce between shooters all the time, and it's like not really that big of an issue. I guess it really is an MMO thing, right?
How often would you be willing to level up to level 60
in New World?
Yeah,
once.
Like if they did a seasonal thing, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Like once a year or once every 3 months?
Fuck no, dude.
Once a year at most. I think I could do a reset in this game every 2 years.
I don't even want to level to 60 the first time, so
yeah, I don't think that a reset is the answer. I think that content patches and having more in-game meaningful objectives is what prolongs the game. I don't know about a reset.
Do you think level cap is a good idea? Like increasing level cap?
No, I think what they should do is they should add like very granular min-max end-game shit that you have to PvP for that makes your stats like 3% better than the guy who didn't have it. You know what I mean? And it's like little like legendary gems or something that you have to own a territory in order to mine, and like there's just some like very hard min-maxy end-game shit that people kill each other for. I think that's probably the type of thing they need to do. I definitely don't want to just level in this game. They could make this game a seasonal game, but they'd have to completely redesign the leveling. They'd have to make it so that like when you're out leveling, you're PvP flagged and you're getting action and it's actually competitive, and controlling territory means that you actually have people in that territory fighting for it, not just that you siege once a day. And
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, they would have to redesign the leveling completely if they wanted to make it a seasonal game.
I really hope that they make, it doesn't even have to be all of the outer areas, but at least some of the areas deep up north need to be like insta flag, like always flag. Cause it's kind of, it's so fucking stupid that like you literally just go and attack somebody's mob. And if they're in a group and you're not, you'll get more EXP than they got. Like that's kind of weird. And that like you could spend 2 minutes killing a crocodile, and if someone hits E on it before you do, they're the only one that gets to skin it.
That's probably the worst one, is people walking up and stealing your skins. Like, how is there not a timer on that? It's fucking absurd.
And it's so weird.
It's just wait till end game rifting, dude. Could like people from the enemy faction will walk up and just leech your like level 60 rifts. There's not a goddamn thing you can do about it. You're just forced to feed gear to the enemy faction because they have PvP turned off.
Yeah, that's something that I feel like we were talking about that in Discord earlier, and I think making that where it is sort of like Arcade, where the zone goes to war, or like you're automatically flagged up for the enemy faction and stuff like that. They need some type of mechanic along those lines.
Yeah, I think they will be willing to do that, but not until post launch, and not until a bunch of people are complaining about it. And it has like the PvPers have to actually be vocal, because right now it's just a bunch of like, oh my god, I got hit by a player. Like it's those people who are on the forums making all the noise, and that's who the devs have been listening to.
Yeah.
The PvPers unfortunately need to be much whinier in order to get this game to get that part of the game to be fixed.
Tim, we need you to be more vocal about,
Dude, that ship sailed. I'm not doing any of that shit. Fuck you.
Listen, dude.
Join the partner program and
Listen, you did it for BDO, and they finally listened after 3 years.
That's
so
true.
you should
You
start
fixed
early.
BDO.
You should
They
start
listen to
early.
Moreland. I'm not, dude. I was such an insufferable piece of shit during those days.
Was? Oh.
What's wrong with you guys today? I have feelings too.
I'm just so offended by the Windows 95 sounds you were playing.
Sorry,
I haven't
man.
recovered.
No, I promise I won't do that shit again.
Why is
Windows
it
XP.
echoing?
It was Windows XP.
Why is it echoing though?
I don't know.
Fucker, dude.
You're playing
Stop.
2 of them.
I'm reformed, man. It's fine.
Do we have news for other games, or is it just all New World this week?
What's this?
I don't know, we could-
lawsuit thing.
Oh yeah, you guys want to talk about
yeah.
Blizzard and just harassing women for years?
Oh, did that happen there too? It wasn't just Riot?
Bro, there's been a 2-year investigation apparently, and who knows how long it's been happening before that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yikes.
that's really weird, dude. Why is I don't know, dude. It's so weird that it's like
It's
people-
so weird.
I don't know, dude.
After working at Sony, I could not imagine that shit. Corporations are so fucking careful. If they catch like the scent of a hint of any kind of harassment, you get in so much goddamn trouble. And then you have companies like Riot and Blizzard, where it's like you have people literally groping ass at company functions, and they're like, "Hey man, that's kind of not cool. Don't do that again." And then they just do it for years, and they're like, "Oh man, yeah, that's pretty wacky."
It's it really is fucking weird, dude. Because like
I don't get it, bro. I don't get like who are these people that let this happen for so long?
Well, it's from
like
the top down for sure.
Don't they want to preserve their company? If nothing else, don't they want to preserve their reputation, even if they actually don't care about their employees? It's fucking wild to me, dude.
It's weird that like it would go on for so long without anything being done. Because I, as someone that's worked in a shit ton of factories, like there'd be like a girl or two that worked there, and you just like a lot of time you just wouldn't even say shit or be around them or anything, just because of all the times that people get like fired for like allegations and shit.
Yep,
like,
exactly.
Literally, if they like, it's one of those things where like even if they even say anything that you even like gave a weird look, like you're just kind of fucked, bro. Just because they don't want anything to do with like the recourse that could come from just having the rumors. So like I'm surprised that it's been going on openly there for so long.
So I'm not super surprised. My one of my good friends works at a car dealership, and the stories she comes back with are horrendous, absolutely horrendous. So I don't think this is some like women being molested or saying some weird shit or something in the workplace is uncommon. I think some people run a business really well and respectfully, but I think there's probably way more than anybody possibly thinks of a bunch of companies with just fucking degenerates everywhere.
But like in a car salesman thing, you kind of expect shitty people because it's kind of the MMO, right? Or like
those aren't gamers. Those are car salesmen.
Fuck people's lives over.
These are gamer bros. What are they doing? Why are they grabbing so much ass?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like the service guy manager is like at the biggest ass grabber, and everyone's like, "So, what illegal drug do you enjoy?" I like doing coke all the time. We use this bathroom for coke. It's like it's that like obvious. Oh yeah, serious, definitely, 100%. So I mean, when you're coked out of your mind, grabbing a little ass is just kind of like a side dish, right?
Oh god, bro, I don't
know, man. I think the story, the real story here is, and there's no recourse either, right? Like if if she went to HR and complained, which she should, she could never get a job. There's like some umbrella corporation that runs most of the car dealerships. She would be 100% blackballed, would never get a job at another dealership again.
That's so confusing to me though, because all you have to do is just like collect some evidence and then sue them, and they like you don't have to work anymore. Like, well, you can just own the company.
Because like I, for one, am a person that wholeheartedly believes, and I will never accept what anybody says otherwise. HR is not there for you as an employee. HR is there to preserve the integrity of their company, to the longevity of their company. HR gives no fuck about any individual person. So like you would have to have some really compelling and like proof. At least that's the way it is in like the factory environment and like
right. I'm not saying that they're gonna do it because they care about you. I'm saying they're gonna do it because they A, don't want to get sued, and B, don't want to get canceled on Twitter. Like just out of self-preservation, I would think that you could pressure these companies into doing the right thing. It's crazy to me that doesn't seem to be the case. I don't know how these people keep getting away with it.
I mean, I'm not sure what the case is, right? There's, legal things that might be different in different states, but definitely seems like it's one of two extremes, right? It's either they're almost too strict on it because they're so afraid, or the opposite of it. It's like they're literally just don't care at all, and I feel like it's kind of crazy. That's such two big extremes.
So, like here in the States, we have what's called at-will employment or right-to-work states. Like Mississippi is one of them. And in those states, you can be fired and they don't have to provide any reasoning as to why you were terminated. Right. So a lot of times, if there is anything kind of like that or anything that would like look bad on the company, they just will fire you, and they're literally not required to give any reasoning as to why you were fired. And that's how it is in Mississippi. But yeah.
So
don't know
there's
how about
no
other places.
there's clearly still some form of wrongful termination though, because if you have evidence that somebody fired you because of like your race or your gender or something like that, you can absolutely sue them, even in Mississippi. So like I don't know how that works with sexual harassment. I'm sure the laws here in California are stricter than most, but there's got to be something on the books where if you have like a recording of someone saying some shit, or especially like a lot of this stuff goes on in emails, a lot of this stuff is going on at company functions with tons of witnesses, like I feel like there's got to be some recourse there.
True.
Maybe I'm just naive.
In that situation, in that situation where
but I've seen people get sued for nothing, dude. I've seen people lose their jobs over nothing. I've seen companies settle over false allegations. So like, why won't they settle over real ones?
And I think it's like with a lot of things, it depends on how much attention and eyes you can get onto something, right? Like if you can't get something trending on Twitter or like just like the right person talking about it, then it's like, it can easily be swept under the rug, right?
I saw a meme with Blizzard where they had one of the streamers, I forget his name, but he got accused of some stuff, and like I don't know the full details, but I don't think any of it, he never like went to court over it or anything, and they removed all their partnership from him. He had like an NPC in the game that got deleted. And then there was a voice actor in the game who again had allegations that like unclear if they were true or not. They removed him from the game. And then when it comes to Blizzard's own allegations, they're like, like absolutely untrue, unproven. Like you gotta wait for things to play out. It's like there's no evidence of this. It's just like a complete double standard, right?
It really is, dude. Like that's what I'm saying. Most of these HR companies, or I'd say all HR, is not there for the employees. It's literally just there to preserve the longevity of the business. And I wholeheartedly will always believe that, no matter what business it is.
So the other part is if you're making like $15, $20 an hour and you get sexually harassed, so go find a lawyer. I mean, anytime you get a lawyer involved, the only person that generally wins is the lawyer, right? And then do you have the money to hire an appropriate lawyer, or do you go to like a screw and sue person who's no upfront cost, but you have to give me 70% of it afterwards? So you get $5,000, a 6-month battle, and the lawyer walks away with the other 50 grand or whatever the settlement is. It's just there's no good way. There's no like easy way for like, hey, please stop grabbing my ass every single morning. Besides just quietly quitting and moving along, because in the end, most of the times, the sad truth is that's probably the least damaging way for the person being assaulted to deal with it.
There's also like a whole lot of where it's like he said, she said, where it's like even if your manager did some fucked up shit, like the HR people are gonna believe your manager because they're your manager and you're just Joe Smo making $15 an hour.
That's just mind blowing to me, man. I've never been in an environment where the benefit of the doubt goes to the person being accused. Every corporate setting I've been in has been 100% the opposite, bro. Like somebody says a joke that somebody else overhears that's like slightly offensive, and that person's on the verge of getting fired. It's like so on the side of the person who's offended or being harassed. I've never seen it skewed the other way. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It's mind boggling to me that there's these like structures out there that are built that way. I would think these companies would want to preserve themselves, but it seems like they don't have to.
Well, it's one of it happens.
Like, do you think Blizzard is going to get hit? Do you think Blizzard's going to lose anything over this? Like, do you think anyone actually cares in the long run?
Well, I mean, you have to understand where's Blizzard located at? Where's their home base?
I think they're in Irvine or something.
Wait, what would you say?
Irvine, California.
I think they're in Irvine or something like that.
And I think that plays a big role there. If that was happening in Mississippi, I think they'd be probably handled a lot differently.
Put the 12 gauge in the backyard.
Because go ahead.
I mean, I think that's basically all there is to that, right? I don't think there's much more.
Because I don't think California is a at-will employment state, like a right-to-work state. So I think they have to give you a legitimate reason for like firing you. But I remember when I worked at Caterpillar, and they had these things called CI cards, like continuous improvement cards, and they were like this thing, yada yada yada. They're like, yeah, if there's issues in the workplace or things wrong with your process, submit this and we'll fix it. And it was actually just like a thing that made some desk HR person look good, but they actually never fixed the things that were fucked up. So one of the guys, he was like, he put in a CI card for the same thing over and over again, telling them to fix it and fix it and fix it, and never fixed it. Well, then like when it was time, like when it actually caused an issue, he was fired for not working safe. When the protocol was for him to do the thing that was unsafe, and he was reporting that it was unsafe, but like he kept making so much noise, so they literally fired him for working unsafe. But that was his job.
Sounds like somebody at that company is a Six Sigma black belt, dude. That has got some bullshit written all over it, man. Those are some of the worst people.
Like it happens all the time. They literally will just
yeah.
fire you and say you were working unsafely when it was like, but I've been doing the same job for years. So I can definitely see that a lot of bullshit gets swept under the rug, especially in like situations where you're, like blue collar things, or like something where you're not getting paid some crazy high amount.
Yeah. Well, to get back on the Blizzard thing, it's definitely sad to hear, sad to see that happen. But the fact that it's getting so much attention is also good. Maybe it'll get some of these other companies within the industry to tighten up. Imagine writing on your continuous improvement card, Bill will not stop touching my ass.
Yeah.
He just won't calm down with that.
I mean, there's also, I don't know, dude. I don't know what they would do, especially in situations like that. There's a lot of he say, she said in those situations. And a lot of the time, like, you never really think to like record your meetings with your superiors, because you would expect your superiors to be actual superiors and do their job, right? Like good managers.
You actually can't do it in California. It's illegal to record somebody without their consent.
Really? Is that a thing?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Has been for a while.
So you're getting harassed at work and you try to record it for evidence, and it's inadmissible because they didn't have consent to be recorded.
100%.
Wow.
That's it.
Well, Moral, there's your answer, dude, as to like how a lot of this stuff doesn't make it to light or get enforced, right?
It's just crazy to me, man. It's crazy. I guess it's more like morally shocking than anything else. Like just the fact that all of these fucking people can watch it happen for so long too, and they're just so fucking self-serving that they can't be like, hey, dude, like stop fucking doing that for real. Like anytime that something like that, I was at a work function and somebody got too drunk and like leaned too close to one of the female coworkers, there would instantly be like 3 different dudes that are like, hey, dude, fuck off. Like literally hands on his shoulder, pull him back. Like everything was always so erring on the side of like, take care of your coworkers and your friends. Like, I just can't imagine what sort of weird fucking environments these people are working in where that's not the default behavior.
Dude, I don't think I have ever been in an environment like that. It's always been
really
top. I don't ever think I've ever been in like, and I'm not even going to get into some of the stories of the shit from when I was in the military with like, I don't think, but again, you also have to think that I've only ever worked like blue collar jobs and like military service. So I've never like been in a white collar degree job or something like that. Right. So I don't know if that's the way it is for every place, but definitely in a lot of places like that where it's like,
I mean, even when I just worked retail and like we were all out having drinks after a shift or something, no one was like, none of the managers were like going around grabbing ass. Like, I don't know.
Oh my God. Really? Dude, I worked at Circuit City when I was a teenager.
No, they were terrified, bro. They didn't want to get, they didn't want any like hint of, they wouldn't even like ask, half the time you wouldn't even ask one of the female coworkers out to dinner or anything because you were so scared of like, the potential backlash if they saw that as harassment or something.
The managers were fucking the female employees in the bathroom, and then they were giving the employees the manager codes. So when they quit or got fired or something, they'd come back and max out their time card. And like the hours before it was supposed to be done, so they'd have to pay it out. Like nobody would catch it until then. There were dude. My retail experience, T-Mobile was even fucking worse.
I guess
T-Mobile. My manager was borrowing money from the fucking till at T-Mobile, and everybody just knew to close register one $50 short. Except for me, they didn't tell me. I guess they thought I was a fucking narc or something. But I closed it without it being $50 short, and they were like, "Oh shit! Well, you're fired." I'm like, what? I had to call a regional manager and be like, "Look, this is what happened. He's borrowing money. I had nothing to do with it. I quit."
It's kind of crazy, Moreland, that you've worked in like all your workplaces have been like
super PMA.
Yeah, really.
I don't think I've
like
had
They're
it.
so it's always so rigid, dude. There's always like a fucking like 6 hour seminar that you have to go through about like appropriate behavior in the workplace, and like you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to make any of these jokes, you're not allowed to fucking hit on anyone, like you're not allowed to touch anyone, you're not allowed to be within 18 feet of the other gender. Like it's always so fucking careful.
I mean, a lot of places we do those little HR things when you first get hired, but a lot of it definitely ain't enforced.
Yeah, I don't know. I always got the sense that I would be fired in a fucking heartbeat if I made any kind of problems for anyone at any of those companies.
What do you want to move on to? You want to talk more about New World? I can't think of any other topics.
I don't think there's been a whole lot that's happened this week other than that, right?
Yeah, we've just been grinding our face to the fucking.
I mean, if it is, we probably wouldn't know about it, right? We've been playing so much New World.
Unfortunately, it's like we're all so focused on New World, and we haven't had a war until tonight. So I'm sure we'll have a couple, and we'll have a lot more to kind of go into. But
it'll give a lot of insight into it all, also, right? Because we'll be able to know that this is. This is a problem in large scale, or this is a really awesome in large scale.
So, I mean, you'll see why I was like so optimistic and hyped for this game, right? It wasn't just like, it's pretty funny. Somebody last year when I was playing, the probably number 2 question I got was, if this game was releasing, would you quit BDO to play it? Which is like a really fucking normie Twitch thing to ask. But after like the 80th time it was asked, I was like, you know what? It's possible. Let's see what they do in the next year. In its current state right now, probably not. There's not enough weapons or variety or really in-game content. But it just so happens that, I'm definitely done with BDO, and this game's coming out, and it came out in a pretty good state. There's a really good foundation here, which I always saw, in the beginning. And I was hoping that even though there's evidence of the contrary, that they would keep pushing it in at least a decent direction. So I'm really happy. I hope you guys didn't, took my excitement and are starting to see why, even though it's only 3 or 4 days.
Tim,
and I can never VoIP again in this game.
I have had a banner in the top right of my screen of my stream for a year for New World.
Longer. You had it before preview.
Yeah, it's been up there. I've been looking forward to it for a long time. I didn't know it was going to be this good, right? There's no way you could have known this is going to be that good, but I've been excited to play through New World because it meets so many of my criteria, right? Which is like open world, immersive, right? Like those are like the 2 biggest things for me, and like things to grind. And
what's even more interesting for me is the amount of interaction I've gotten like through my Discord through this game. Like a lot of people, Moreland's got a huge community. There's a lot of people there that want to talk a bunch of different games. There's a lot of people that follow him when he plays games. But my Discord has been most actively talking about New World since I played Preview. Way more than BDO as I was playing BDO. So this is something that, like, I guess my excitement is honest enough for, anybody to really pick up on. And it's kind of magnetic or something. I don't know. But I'm really happy that it's finally here. Finally fucking here, man.
People can sense when you're not enjoying a game, right? Like when we're watching Moro play like BDO, like if you've been watching Moro a lot, you would know that he's not necessarily 100% enjoying it anymore. Right? You might question, might not be 100% sure, but you can tell. And the same is true when you're like enjoying a game. Like when you sit there and you just like see that they're so invested into it, you can tell that they're really liking the game, and you don't have to ask if they're liking it, right? You're gonna see that in their face. Now, for me, that's a little hard because I don't have a camera on when I stream. But like you can tell that someone's enjoying it a lot. And I think that's very true for you.
One of the hardest things I've learned to do is to figure out when Moreland is happy or sad, or enjoying something or not enjoying something, or likes something or doesn't like something. without him
because everything's
expressing the
granular
same.
for me. I don't really have black and white reactions. There's always things that I don't like and things that I do like, and everyone wants me to just, is this game worth it? Yo, should I buy this game? And it's like, well, to me that's a stupid fucking question. Like every time I get asked that question, I just like, I don't know. I literally don't know how to answer it.
It's impossible.
I also think that like as MMO players, we really gotta just buck the trend of like you can only play one fucking game and you can't be enjoying something else at one time, and then it's like you have to 100% fucking quit something and like burn all your bridges with it before you can play something else. Like I don't understand that culture, and it's like so prevalent in the MMO community. Like why can't you just enjoy something else as well and play more than one game? Like I don't understand it. Like not you, I'm saying, but I'm saying like in general as MMO players, like why is that a thing?
So I agree with that. And furthermore, like I quit BDO because I was done with BDO. I had no idea what to play. I was playing Star Wars Galaxies. Like I was just doing other things. And then this game happened to come out. So I didn't quit BDO or New World. I agree with you that that's kind of like this toxic, weird mentality. I still am going to finish all the Dark Souls games. I've still got all these other things I'm going to do. But this game's only out for 2 weeks and then it's gone. So I can play this alone for 2 weeks. But after that, I'm not going to make this. I'm going to learn from my mistakes with playing that BDO drilled into my head of, you can only play this game or you're dog water, so.
Exactly. Right. It's something, I mean, even something that I struggle with where it's like, okay, if you're not enjoying something, it's like, why? And obviously it's hard to differentiate as a streamer, right? Where it's like, you kind of feel like you're forced to play what you have to play just because, but I don't know. I think it's one of those things where like we really shouldn't let ourselves get to those points. Like where if you're not enjoying it, don't like force yourself to play it for months and months on end,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made. Like, not just with streaming, but literally in my entire life, I was not quitting BDO sooner. I feel like it had such a weird effect on my like just overall mental health and like I don't know, just my mood and like the level of like patience that I have towards other people. Like there's so many things that deteriorated over the last 12 to 18 months playing that game. I absolutely like regret not quitting it sooner, and I will never ever put myself in a position again where I'm playing a game that makes me feel that way. Like I will literally just go find any other job.
Exactly. And it's like a compounding thing where it's like if you hate it, if you already aren't enjoying yourself playing it, then like you see even more of the glaring issues and it makes you feel even worse. And then it's like,
and it's a slow burn too. It's a slow, like you don't notice it until it's gotten so bad that like, you start noticing it affecting other parts of your life and stuff. Like gaming is, it's always been, since I was a little kid, gaming has always been, one of or the biggest outlet for me. And when I'm forced to play a game that's not an outlet every day, it's so toxic, man. I feel like even now that I've quit, it's going to take me a few months to recover from how shitty I felt towards the end playing that fucking game every day.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, who knows? I mean, maybe if you had stepped away for a while, you would feel as like torn down, about it.
I tried that, right? I stepped away for probably a month straight, and all I really got from that, and I think we had a little bit of a conversation about that when the first week I came back to the podcast, right? Like I even didn't do the podcast with you guys, and I love you guys sincerely. But like I just had a breaking moment. I had to get away from all of it. It was the worst parts of myself. I had no idea why I was continuing to do this, acting like this, or the way I was dealing with people, just everything. So I just yeeted all of it. And when I came back, I thought I was healthy enough to just like casually touch the game, and I was. And when I did, I was like, oh right, this is terrible. Like there's so many glaring bad issues and such stupid toxicity. It's like this just isn't healthy. It's like so
it's the difference between being a veteran player.
Any game though, right?
Yeah, it's just the difference between being a veteran player and a new player. If you're a new player, you'd be blind to all those things and play them a long time. But with streaming, you're encouraged to play the game past the point of enjoying it. In order to maintain either money or views or whatever the case may be, right?
Good point.
And so like that, and then when you compound that with you're not enjoying the experience or the developers are being dumb, it just further makes the whole experience way worse. And like I definitely like people used to come to my stream, and I used to be like known as a positive streamer, and recently people have come to my stream and like, bro, what happened? And so like I've had to work on being more positive, not necessarily because I'm not a positive person or optimistic, but just because it feeds on itself, right? Like it's like almost like a disease of the mind to just be angry all the time. And
Yeah,
like
dude,
I feel the
Yeah.
same way, dude. Same fucking way.
That's why
Yep.
I try to like think of it in the sense that like what else could I have done for 5+ years and got all of that time out of it, which is I know is a bad way to think, but it's one of those
Playing
things where it's like,
instrument.
okay, like anything is I mean I actually do, but anything is gonna be shitty after 5,000 plus hours of doing the same thing, right? Which is why I think it's good to have diversity and do more things.
What do you play?
You'll be back.
Oh, okay. Too personal. Just got potion shopped.
yeah,
No, that's a good point. And
Yeah.
and that's I like that that's his take on it. I think we're all very different people, and streamers are extraordinarily eclectic, and all this shit affects us, in very different and real ways. And so I don't think there's one answer for that, but I'm sure there's plenty of people who don't stream that still kind of get wrapped up. Plenty of my guild mates in BDO guilds were like way more toxic and obsessed with anger and all that kind of stuff than I was. But it was contagious. It was contagious. And the more
Yeah.
I was in that environment, I was super susceptible to it. I was super susceptible. And like caring about the development of the game, I realized, and that's why I left the podcast for a little while, was really fucking taxing on me. Really taxing, shockingly taxing on me. And so that's why that's when we're having
Ah.
conversations about like what's going on with this game and how it should be developed, and there should be a dungeon that's like this. I'm like, how about we just let's not put what went on with BDO onto New World 3 days into the beta. You know what I mean? Like, let's just chill. Let's have a positive outlook and be hopeful, optimistic on how this development curve's going to go. And then we can have a nice, friendly discussion about what we would like to see versus what happens, or praise them possibly if they did something good. There was some weird glitch, the dead tree thing. Boy, dude, they were right Johnny fucking on the spot with that. If that was BDO, fucking good luck, dude. We'd be tripping over trees for 5 years. So I really do want to try to come at a different angle with this and not be so hyper fucking minuscule critical. And maybe it's because they come out with so much bad content week after, just doesn't matter. Brain dead, missing the huge piles of fruit that are on the ground rotting. They've been there so long.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well-
if they don't do that, it'll be easier to just go,
Well,
a patch came out this month. Look at all the things they fixed. That was very nice. I hope they do this next.
Well, I feel like part of that also is, like the responsibility is to actually, when we play the game, to focus more on what we're enjoying in the game, and then talk about that during the podcast, because the podcast could be just another funnel for negativity if we allow it to be, right? And so, like, And so, like, if we sit down and we're like, "Why did you enjoy this week?" I'm like, "Oh, I enjoyed this. This is why I've been enjoying in the game." And I think striving to look at that kind of stuff and then trying to ignore the things we're not enjoying, or at least not talk about them, because we'll feed off each other as well, right? Right? Like, if one person's being negative, then the other three will feed off of that and become more negative as well. So,
Yeah, Moreland's pessimism rubbed off on me quite a bit with BDO, but it was also intelligent.
Dude, I don't even
So
think
it
I was
helped
that
me look at-
pessimistic, though. That's the thing
No,
with that
well,
game,
We
dude.
all
Like,
were.
I
we
feel like
all
I gave it
were.
every fucking I gave that game too many chances. Like, I don't even think I'm pessimistic. I think I come off as pessimistic because that game has been in a state of failure for so fucking long that I sound like a broken record. But oh my God, bro, it's actually so fucking easy to fix the things that they need to fix, and they just won't do it for years. Like, no matter how many chances you give them. I
Well,
don't feel like
and-
that's pessimism.
I think
I
you're.
find
I think
that
you're
with
being.
every MMO I've ever played.
So,
that
May have
I
been the
think-
wrong word. May have been the wrong word.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, it's a realistic perspective on the game, but it ends up fueling negativity, and so I think that's the difference, right? Is like realizing that fuels negativity, and then just choosing mentally to focus on something that is not that, right? I don't know.
I just wish they didn't put out bad patches every week. Just every week, it was just shit. And like,
I mean, I think that's an
content
MMO
updates.
thing, though, right? Like,
Is
not
it?
all MMOs, but
No.
a lot of them kind of do
a lot
stupid
of
shit
them, sure,
and
a
don't
lot of
fix
them,
most
but
things. Like the
most
you can
games-
tell when the fucking devs care about the game and when they don't, man. Like I don't get this angry at the 14 devs or the Albion devs, or
Yeah.
like there's other games where it's clear the people playing the game, the people running the game play the game and care about the game and aren't just there AFK collecting a fucking paycheck. Like, and you can tell the difference, and it's upsetting when that's a big part of your life and they refuse to just have any passion
course.
for what they're doing.
So, I mean, I'm just trying to say I'm happy to be on a different team, right? Whether we're playing 14, which I'll get back to after New World, talking about other games, or even just like trying to form opinions and keeping tabs on other games that, we're not playing. Back to Kerr's point, having some diversity, even just within our conversation is going to be so much healthier than sitting here for 5 hours every single week going, why did they come out with Papu and Otters or whatever the fuck that shit is, and being angry over the amount of man hours they're putting in on things that are literally never going to be seen or enjoyed in the game, when there's stuff like how hard was the patch that they came out on, today? How hard was it for them to actually do that? I bet it was 5 man hours total, and half of it was probably typing up and translating the notes. So I'm just, again, happy to be away from that, and I very strongly agree with Kerr's diversity comment.
I think it's definitely good to play other stuff where it's like one of those things like, I know BDO has shit tons of problems, and it's always going to have problems. They will never not fix it, because it's one of those things where, money, it's become more a business than a passion project, or at least that's the way it seems from the outside. And it's like, once I see that, I just try not to let it negatively affect my psyche. And sometimes it does get to me for sure, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm not enjoying it. Well, then I don't stream for like 6 days, Then it's like, oh, I've been playing other shit for 6 days. I'm refreshed. I can hop on and just do some PvP, shoot the shit with chat, catch up, and just, or, in a perfect world, like stream other games in a perfect world. But yeah, like I think it's definitely good for your mental to not force yourself to play something else. And it's good to see you guys like being, like, fucking Moreland looks like 10 years younger, bro. Like, it's crazy.
Actually,
It's fucking crazy, dude. This man's eyes are bluer. Like, fuck. It's like his soul was getting drained. So, like,
my sub count hasn't been this high in years. So, like, even as far as like the business side of it.
Yeah. So, like, I'm happy for you guys. Like,
I have like 20% less viewers and like 80% more subs.
the fucking dream, man. Get those idiots out of there.
The non-posse spellers, bro.
I know you're frustrated, but that was fucking hilarious, dude. At your expense. I appreciated it.
It was pretty funny.
I mean, some people just can laugh at fart jokes for 9 hours straight,
That's 100% me.
For me, 1 or 2 is funny, and then I'd like to change a topic.
You're objectively wrong about the step posse thing, though. Everybody's in agreement that's funny.
God.
Yeah, well, I
Everybody.
mean, we should just name the guild Step. Like I said, that's the funniest possible name.
I am gonna get that 50 from you, though.
Yeah,
100%.
good luck with that.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. I don't need it.
Must be nice, dude. He does one subathon. He's like, fuck it, dude. I just throw $50. It ain't nothing.
No, I'm gonna have to give him 50. Oh yeah, do you give me 50 if you fail?
That was not the agreement.
Well, isn't that what a bet is?
The bet was, dude, you set up the terms.
You don't seem that confident all of a sudden.
I said, how much money would you give me if I accomplished this task?
Is that what you said?
I would give you.
You seem to rewrite a lot of our conversations. In your
head my fucking God. No, now you're trying to get in my pocket.
I mean, I've got all this on the VOD. We can go check.
It's been 24 hours, and now you just realize that, hey, maybe I could get. If we tell too much about it, there's a bet about something.
One of
And there's
Mr.
$50
Pay-to-Win's
right
friends refuses to have fun in video games, and Tim thinks that he can make him do something hilarious, and I think that he cannot.
And so
Okay.
I said, how much would you pay me if I got it done? And he said 50 United States dollars or
That's
something.
absolutely
to that
not
effect.
how the conversation went at all.
It was almost that direct, that
Nope.
quick. Oh, it's nearly verbatim.
That's not even close to verbatim what happened at all.
Okay, enlighten me, please. Good sir.
Oh, we can go back and watch the VOD.
I mean, I know.
let's
I
go-
We
know
should do
everything
it
I
just as
need
an
to know.
exercise for Tim so he can see how wrong he is about this.
I know everything I need
This
to
is
know
like
about
arguing
the
with my
guy
girlfriend. It's the
because he
same.
puts
It's the same
military
way.
in his name.
Whoa, I don't think
You-
HR is going to appreciate that one.
Do you remember when Potion was talking, when Potion and Tim had their beef, and Potion was describing Tim as an emotional communicator, whereas he is more of a logical communicator? That's exactly how I feel when I'm talking to Tim. Tim remembers how he felt during the conversation rather than the actual content of the conversation.
Damn, that actually makes sense.
This happens a lot.
Yep. Confirmed.
It's not a bad thing. It's just something that
No, they
you have
both
I
to
have
don't
their
need
pros
you to
and cons.
fucking console
Is
me.
this an
It's fine.
intervention? Are we having an intervention right now? For Tim?
Both things have their pros and cons, you know?
yeah.
At least
For
you know
sure.
how I feel immediately.
That's true. I always know. I always know how Tim feels.
Yeah. No, I am an emotional person. That may not be a surprise to some people. But I embrace it. I'm trying to adapt to accepting it and acknowledging like when I need to peel that back. It's an arduous process, but I'm getting there.
You don't ever have to change, Tim.
No, I don't have to change, but I'd like to do better. And I think that's a
I don't
Good.
see it as a better or worse thing. I see it as like there's a degree of there's like a dispersion of personality traits, and traits A and B are good for accomplishing the one thing, and traits C and D are good for accomplishing a completely different thing, and everybody has a different dispersal that's good for various things, and
Tim's
Yeah.
kind of like
I
a
think that's
human
what makes the
Wolverine.
I think that's what makes the podcast so interesting, is that this group of 4 people has very like there's some things we're aligned on, but there's some things we're extremely different on, and I don't think one person is bad or worse than the other because of that. I just think there's some situation where it's going to be a advantage and some situations where it's going to be a disadvantage.
yeah, having Potion Shop on here is a disadvantage.
Ouch, bro. Why'd you have to say that?
Because I love you and it's how I flirt.
That's
fuck is a
banter.
I
link?
cannot believe how fast Potion Shop hit 40.
Really?
Potion's a fucking gamer, bro.
Remem-
Potion, how long did you go before you slept that first time?
The first day was pretty tame, I think. I don't remember.
You were at 40 hours, man.
Maybe it was like that second.
The second
time.
day is when I went hard because I was trying to fix my sleep for my streams so I could wake up and stream at a regular time, like my regular stream time, that is. And then I slept 12 hours, and that just ruined the entire thing I stayed up for.
Everyone went hard though. Like there's people who played every alpha who went hard, and they're still 8 levels behind Potion.
So you didn't notice because you were like super fucking focused when we did the last Oasis wipe. But Potion Shop came in a couple days later and just zoomed right past my progression, even though like people were helping me and stuff. Like he was on a different fucking level. Like he accidentally swallowed a bottle of Adderall or something. He just got it fucking done. So I'm not surprised at all. At all.
I
mean,
just-
it's one of those things where it's like
I'm a problem solver. That's just my nature, right? That's why I like in a podcast I'm always like, oh, it'd be nice if they did this, and like because like I'm my brain just automatically tries solving a problem, right? Anything that comes to my life, I try to solve the issue. And so the good side of that is like I become very efficient at video games, at least compared to your average player. But the downside of that is I can't turn it off, and that sometimes makes problems.
it was like more surprising for me because like you're literally going into it not completely blind, but for the most part completely blind. So it's like shit, dude. And even people that didn't, or that played the shit out of the previous alphas, like some of the boys, they're like, shit, dude, like what the fuck? Potion was able to contribute like 20,000 gold like the second day. Like,
dude,
what
that
the
was
fuck,
so
bro?
insane.
Like, it was insane.
Yeah, so for chat, we had to raise 100. I thought it was so in preview it was 10,000 gold to buy a territory, and they made it 100,000 in this closed beta. And so I fucking just went around. My job was basically to go around and remind people to give me all their gold. And Potion Shop just came in time after time after time after time. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. I think it was like 8,000 or something. He bought like a tenth of the territory. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I did 10,000.
And it was a race against the clock to get a decent one, and we actually got a really good one. Outside of having a starter zone or Everfall, like having Morningdale's probably going to end up being pretty great. I'm probably going to turn the taxes down a little bit so people are incentivized.
Then he contributed another 10K when we needed to take out or like could declare war for tonight's war.
Oh, that's right. He like basically
Yeah.
funded the entire war. Right. It was 15K, and he's like, I got it.
Yeah, I put 1,000 initially, or 2,000 in, I think, initially, something like that, to get us up to 5K because Tim wanted a safety net. And then they needed more for a 15K for that. So I think
there's like different levels of forts that you can drop. So you could do it cheaper, but it was like, but Potion Shops and Aftershock, why would we do it cheap?
That's so cool that a crafter can just fund the wars.
Like Ghost Rags just gave me 5,000 gold. Just
I mean, that's the way it should be. It should be like that, though. Where like crafters should have some.
Just trying to catch up.
I like that.
Hey, can I have like 4,000 gold?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, Ghost Rags. I'm just kidding. I don't
also probably. I'm sure you don't, but I am still going to pay you back for the 20K.
I actually do need some gold, Tim. I gave you like 3K.
What's your Prince?
Yeah, somebody stole my name, remember?
I don't really remember. It's just Prince?
Yep.
Prince Black?
Nope, that's somebody else.
Just Prince.
But I do fit the description, I guess.
Ghost Rags' money bags. He gave me 1,000 too.
How much do you need, Kerr?
I need just 1,000.
It auto-filled, Moreland. God damn it. I just want to be sure I'm not sending some random...
you were trying to make like a bad joke or something. You actually thought that was his name?
No, it auto-filled, bro. It auto-filled to Prince BLAQK. And I thought
there's a guy like that in our
better.
There's a guy like that in our
QK? Is that how it's spelled?
I thought that's how that would, because he was in our company, it would autofill. I have no idea why else it would do that.
You thought because of what? Because okay.
It autofilled when I'm typing this in to send 2-player. It autofilled when I put Prince. It put Black at the end of it, and I thought it did that because you're in the guild, right? So it's like, oh yeah, that's the closest person's name who is like in your guild. I just assumed. I was double checking either way. It popped up. I wasn't just like, yeah, you put Black in your name because you're Black, right? How much money would you like?
I just need 1K so I can get bags.
All right, I'll give you 1,500 to prove I'm not racist.
It's spelled with a Q and a K.
Fucking Tim, dude.
It was. Once we get a good tax payout, I'll pay you back. From the company.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. Yeah, we can talk about it some other time. So what are you guys expectations for the launch of New World? What do you think they can fix, or what do you think they should work on? What are your expectations?
That's a good question.
I think nerfing the town board was the number one like actual content thing that they needed to do, and they've done that, so I'm happy about that. If they can just boost combat XP, or just maybe it might be even as simple as just boosting spawn rates, because I feel like if there was shit to kill, then you could grind, but half the time you're just waiting for things to spawn. If they could tweak that and give combat players the ability to level without having to do the town board, and then the crafters can just stick with the town board, I think the early game will feel a lot better and launch will go super well. I don't think they're going to fix all the annoying UI bugs and stuff. I think that stuff's going to be in the game for months.
Can you give an example?
Are you serious, bro? You haven't encountered any of this? I can't go 5 minutes in this game without my UI breaking in a major way. I had Everfall Hamlet stuck on my screen for 6.5 hours yesterday. When I'm in combat, my 1 and 2, my weapons that I swap between, maybe 10% of the time, it shows me the incorrect weapon, and I use skills from the wrong weapon that my character's not holding.
What?
Like, when I'm talking to NPCs, my character gets soft locked and I have to unstuck. When I'm accessing my storage, my camera gets soft locked and I can't fix that without relogging. Like, there's so many fucking UI problems in this game. It's unfathomable. I've never played a game with a more broken UI than this one. Like, it's worse than Bless Online.
Have you considered reinstalling the game? Because I've run into zero of those
I'm
issues.
not the only one having those issues.
No,
dude.
my UI is
no shot.
I've had the weapon problem several times, and I like swapped back because I thought I was on the wrong weapon, and then I'm like, oh wait, what? And it get like when I'm like swapping weapons and stuff gets me confused. I've had issues where my total bottom right UI is just gone, like all the abilities, the potions, the weapon, it's just invisible. And
Remember when I couldn't access the guild menu and I had to relog? That happens with everything, dude. It's not just the guild menus. You just lose access to stuff. Sometimes your mini-map thing at the top of your screen stops working and stops tracking. Like, every element of the UI in this game is prone to break randomly and unfixably at any moment.
I was PvPing a guy, and he was like, "Please stop! I can't change weapons." Just like, and I just proceeded to beat his ass, but like, it was hilarious.
Whoa,
he
really?
couldn't change weapons.
Yeah,
dude, he's fucking purple. You think we respect purples around here, bro?
If he was yellow, you would let him live.
Yeah,
I gotta
there's not
let
enough
the crazy
yellows.
fanatics.
Yeah, we're going yellow next time for sure, so I can get some Trump speeches out there without getting banned. Sorry, man.
Bro, you could just role play it. Just role play it. I will build a wall, and I'm gonna make Mexico pay for it.
He was, trust me.
So should I get the script from his speeches and just stand in the middle and just read his speeches?
Yeah,
you could record
better.
yourself saying it, and then just the soundboard could be you reading his speeches.
I'm also considering getting the sound files for the mobs, like, you know, the like zombie people who are like they're trying to do Murloc stuff.
But people be like looking around to see where it's at.
And VoIPing that, because there's no way that's toxic because it's literally in-game.
No,
sounds.
That's definitely still toxic.
That's disruptive behavior.
If you do that right, I think that's well done. I think that's a good one.
Wait, what's the queue right now?
Oh, I don't want to know.
I when I crashed, it let me in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't have any queue today at all.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's still the case.
It's 5 p.m. on a Friday.
Friday night, it might be heating up. I think a lot of people stop playing though.
What do you guys think they should do
from
about
the roster
queue?
of the war?
Do you think the queue?
If I don't start the queue now, I might not get in before the war.
Wait, you're not coming to the war, right, Tim?
Yeah, I forgot for a second.
What do you guys think about like how they've handled servers and stuff? Do you think that's like a big issue?
Yes, that is by far the biggest issue facing the game. If the
what-
servers are this bad on launch, then that is a big cry.
What kind of like server issues have you been having for people that might not know?
It's just major desync and delay in the starter areas. It's totally fine once you get out of the first 3 zones. But in the first zones, which everyone's funneled to because the game's a crafting simulator right now anyways, like if you try to pick up a rock inside of Everfall, your character leans over, a second goes by, and then the circle clears, and then you wait another second after you do the little circle, and then you pick the rock up. It takes fucking forever. If you go to Cutlass Keys and pick up a rock, it's instant. You just bend over and pick it up. And it feels even worse in PvP because like your weapons are constantly clipping through the other player and not hitting them. You feel like you're getting staggered from people who are outside of range. You do a range shot and it goes right through somebody. Like it feels awful in PvP. It's completely unplayable. Luckily,
now how's by contrast, like how's that feel in like the normal game?
Oh, then outside of the starter zone, combat feels great. That's the number one thing that impressed me about this game in the alpha was that I couldn't believe how we would have these 50v50 fights, like these sieges and I could just run around and AoE 20 people and there would be no desync, there would be no rubber banding, everything worked. Like I couldn't believe how good the netcoding was in the alpha, but something is definitely wrong with the servers in the beta. I think it's just too many people in the same area. They need to do a better job of spreading people out, or I don't know if they changed their netcode and they need to figure out what's broken about it. But yeah, I mean, luckily the PvP that is going to be happening is probably not going to be happening around the starter towns anyways, because everyone's going to be unflagged. But if you're trying to get some early game PvP, man, it was not fun. Like you have to wait until at least Brightwood, I feel like, to get some decent PvP. Otherwise, it's just a desync fest.
So you remove this dank RNG TV guy, and he is blowing me the fuck up, telling me he was there and did missions for 2 hours, and he should go to the war.
I didn't remove anything. It's Zabby it's
Zabby doing
making the
Okay.
changes.
Wait, am
His
I
name
still
is
on there?
Dank RNG.
Dank RNG TV.
I don't remember that name at all.
He wasn't there. He's lying. He streamed it. I'm like, I'm not. This is such a weird way to get me to look at your stream.
Is he in the guild? Who is he?
No, he's in cannabis.
Oh, absolutely fucking not.
Right.
No one, yeah, no one outside of this guild and maybe Pay's guild comes to this fight. Fuck everyone else.
Yeah, I told him
Didn't help.
if he wanted to put a squad of 5 together, we'd get them in.
Why?
5 people would be fine, just so they feel included. So we can.
These are like OG Arsha boys. They're good gamers. We want to bring them in just to secure the territory.
Yeah, makes
because
sense.
their 5 is going to be better than our last 5.
Their best 5 is absolutely better than our 45 through 50.
So pragmatically, we just need to do that.
Yeah, makes sense.
I told him Michael JD can't go though.
So we've been
He's
going.
probably like level 19 anyways.
I'm gonna see how many
Yeah.
people are in the queue.
We've been going for a while. Do you guys want to wrap up?
That's up to our host.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that's all we need to talk about, right? Like, that's pretty much the high points. There hasn't been a whole lot that we've experienced this week other than New World. We kind of been like, I don't know,
Leveling.
just gaming out and chilling in the Discord and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's honestly like kind of like Potionum said earlier. It's been more like a social thing with the boys, more so than like, hey, like new game. I've mostly just been enjoying doing stuff with the boys, occasional
Yeah.
PvP, stuff like that. Slowly working past the frustrating early game, but I think that's about it, right?
Yeah. Well, all right. So let's do one. I want to do one last thing. Then, what is your favorite thing about New World so far?
Who wants to go first?
Getting
My
unbanned.
favorite thing personally is the sound effects. I think whoever did their audio engineering / deciding on the sounds did very good, because for me, every MMO I play or most games in general, the first thing I do is turn off like background music and character sounds, because a lot of the times they are very unintuitive and have that like Korean moany-esque to them, and I'm not a big fan of it. And this game actually does sound pretty well, honestly. Like just the feel of hitting something and like even down to the like gathering and crafting, it just sounds so good. That's probably my favorite part.
For me-
actually,
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I really love the way they did these environments. I don't think I came down to this zone that I'm in right now in the alpha, or if I did, they must have changed it, because like
I don't think it was in the alpha.
I think it was like another starter zone or something back then. I don't think it looked anything like this, but
Yeah.
this zone is so fucking cool, dude. And like, there's these little like jungle islands to the south that are practically their own biome, and the atmosphere and the ambiance is extraordinarily well done. Like, it was like Potion was saying earlier, like even if the task you're doing is super basic and you're just like hitting rocks or something, it's so enjoyable to just be in some of this game's environments and just immerse yourself. Even if you're like, even just basic gathering feels really good. So yeah, I'm definitely digging it now that I'm out of the repetitive starter area.
I haven't gotten to the part of the game that I enjoy the most, and I played so much of the preview that I know that. So like this early leveling thing, you know, it's okay trying to figure out other weapons and stuff, but the fact that they pulled so much XP from just like getting out there and gather and doing combat and stuff like that, I'm not a big fan of all that. But the payoff is like tonight, right? The payoff is the conflict that happens and taking territories and all that stuff. That's my absolute favorite thing in an MMO. I mean, that's why I played for BDO for years too long. So that is my favorite part of this game. What's been like this super happy little side part is how much social interaction is required to be successful at this game and people's willingness to participate in that. Because if people weren't in Discord and we weren't all like helping each other along and stuff, we'd absolutely be dog shit. So,
dude, this game does interdependence so well. Like they don't force you to specialize, but if you do, there's so much benefit you can bring to the guild by being like the first guy who unlocks, the ability to make T3 bags or something. And then like everybody in the fucking guild brings the materials to you and they get their T3 bags and now they have way more weight and they can carry way more resources when they're gathering. Like that kind of stuff is it has been excellent, just like hopping from channel to channel, like getting everything coordinated and getting everyone upgraded with the next set of tools or whatever. And just like PvPers are out clapping and doing the quest, crafters are, outfitting everyone with the next tier of bags and tools. Like this feels like the most cooperative guild endeavor I've had in an MMO in a very long time.
Yeah.
It's way more than just showing up once a day for PvP. Like the whole experience is cooperative and collaborative.
Yeah, and it rewards people who don't like. We still need these people in this guild, like in our Discord, working with us, even though they're probably not great at PvP, and that's fine. Eventually, they won't sign up for wars. Or they'll never sign up for wars. We'll make other friends or allies, whatever the case is, and pull them in. But they're still going to be absolutely useful to the game. So, again, the social side of it has been a really pleasant surprise.
Yeah, and again, I know a lot of people. Again, it's like I'm not gonna speak for the other guys, but me personally, I'm not saying that New World is like the next best thing and nothing crazy. I just look at it as a fun side game to hop on with the boys and shoot the shit, have a good time. Like it has like enjoying the social aspect of it and to do some good PvP. And I'm not looking at it as like, oh my god, this is the savior, the bastion of the MMO genre. Even though it could be if they did it right. But again, it's like you can play multiple games. You don't have to quit a game to play another game. You can play whatever you want when you want, and you should. It's healthy.
Well, my favorite thing.
I don't think this is the game that changes the genre or anything like that. I don't think that this is the game that is the next big thing. But I do think this game does have a chance to change the genre. I think it has a chance, whether it's Amazon making New World 2 or content patches or another company seeing this game and learning from it. I do feel like there's something foundational about just the level of immersion and the world crafting that they've done that's, these other games can definitely learn from, because I just don't feel the world in any of the MMOs that come out anymore. I didn't feel it in ArcheAge or Elion or any of these other games. They all feel lifeless and like you just get to max level so you can PvP and you don't care about anything else. So I think that there'll be a lot of eyes in this game at launch, and that could be a really good thing.
Yeah, my favorite thing has been hanging out with the boys in Discord, honestly. I've been really enjoying my time there, and wrapping my head around banter has been definitely a challenge, but it's been enjoyable spending in this time with friends, and I think it's
Can I show you guys something real quick? Look at this. This is what I like about
Why are you interrupting, Tim?
Sorry.
I can't.
Oh,
I
that
can't
probably
capture
fucks everybody's
this.
thing up. Sorry. Okay. Never mind. I thought it would replace my camera. There's just a bunch of naked people flopping around, like 20 of them. They all took their gear off and they're just flopping around. Like, that shit does not happen in most MMOs.
The one thing that I remember in preview was there was this I don't know, like pool or something like that in one of the towns, and so everybody jumped into the pool, took off their armor, was just in the pool, like hanging out, just like dancing around in the pool and stuff. But yeah, my favorite thing though has definitely been just hanging out with the community and like hanging out with friends in Discord, and I feel like that's something that I really really want out of MMO, and they've given everybody a huge excuse to just hang out and interact, and honestly, like what part of the main storyline is to be at a dungeon, which requires you to play with other people, and I think that is so essential to the game's core, because what's the purpose of a huge immersive world that you can enjoy with other people, right? And so I feel like almost mandating that to some extent really really brings the world that feels alive actually alive, because you're actually playing with other people and you're running around doing quests or dungeons or helping somebody with gear or whatever the case may be.
All good points.
I agree. I think it's good, and also it's like that. I like that the game, like we talked about earlier, the game has it so that you can be what level of play you want to be, right? Like you can be that person that's always on, looking to PvP, doing shit all the time, or you could be someone like me who just wants to hop on, get some good fights in, show up to the siege, kick some ass, chill in voice comms, and just not have to play it 24/7, and that's fine, right? Like,
Absolutely.
that's good. It doesn't have to be like your life or your main thing. You can mix it in and have a good time with the boys. So I think they do it really good about balancing that.
I'm so happy they put a dueling system in here. I know it was scuffed last night when we tried to do the group thing, but at least just doing some 1v1s and stuff, that's big for me.
I think that's it. Do you guys want to wrap up the do you want to wrap up the main thing?
Let's do it.
Do it, man.
All right, that's it, boys. That has been this episode of Nerds and Words. For anybody that doesn't know, Potion tops them all onto his YouTube channel. I think he's gonna get the Spotify caught up because now he's not doing an infinite stream, so maybe like over time, he'll have that set up. As far as what's going to be going on for like the next week, I think most are just going to be playing New World, right? I'll let you guys kind of take the floor and do your spiel.
Yeah, so for this week for me, New World, I'm doing New World. I'm really looking forward to it. As far as the podcast goes, I'll be trying to get one episode caught up on Spotify every single day until it's just completely caught up. That's what I'm kind of looking forward to and been enjoying so far. Doing them all at once, while playing the game is almost impossible for me.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. So I've been having a lot of fun though, and plan on playing New World for the rest of the week. My as far as like stream schedule, I'm just trying to fix my sleep schedule, so probably stream a few short hours. If you catch it, you'll be lucky. It'll be maybe 4 hours tonight. So that'll be like really short. But yeah, I'll be back on probably in like a day or two on regular schedule. I'm trying to do one YouTube video a day, one podcast episode on Spotify a day. And just enjoying New World. We'll be level 60 here in like a day or two. So that's the plan.
Yeah, and anyone who is unsure about Potion Shop's schedule, feel free to just come into any of our channels and ask us about it constantly, because we definitely, we all know exactly when Potion's going to be live and what he's doing in real life at any given moment. I actually have a camera that gives me a live feed into his gaming room. So yeah, if you want to know when Potion's going to be live or anything, what he had for breakfast this morning, or it's anything about Potion's personal life or his schedule, then please do just come and ask us about it constantly. We love it when you do that.
The answer is I take Sundays off, and then I am supposed to be streaming from around midnight NA time. It's generic start, and I usually try going for like 8 hours. That's my general stream times. I know I've streamed for 1,229 hours. So people didn't really know what my stream time was because really it was just 24/7 for over a month and almost a month and a half. But anyway, that's my plan for the week. What are you guys doing?
Killing alligators in the jungle, bro. This zone is so fucking comfy, man.
Dude, the alligators in this game will fuck you up. But
dude.
As far as for me, I'm gonna try and get a group together and run Ataraxion sometime in the next like 2 days, just to kind of experience it with like the voice acting on, and just kind of pay attention to the lore and just kind of see how it is. Trying to get that, try to have like a little fun experience with it. We'll see. Other than that, obviously goof off on New World with the boys. Just kind of play a bunch of different things. Play some Stardew Valley and shit like that. Just kind of bounce around. That's what I've been doing. Just playing a lot of stuff and not just like pigeonholing myself into doing one thing.
Absolutely.
Tim,
I'm only going to be playing New World, man. I'll stream it as much as I can. But I took like a whole big personal week off this week to do as well as I could with the game. But should be able to stream all the wars and stuff like that outside of tonight. I always take Friday nights off, so should be streaming tomorrow, and then we'll pick a couple days next week. I'm kind of erratic with all that stuff, but it's always a good time. So come on by. That's all I got going on. Fuck YouTube.
and that's it. Cut.
No, come on, really?
Yeah,
Thank you,
dude.
everybody, so much.
Think-
Thank
yeah.
you, everybody, so much for watching. We're live at 3 p.m. Eastern. If Tim's on time, that's 12 p.m. Pacific. You can find us on Potion Shop's YouTube and on all of our Twitches, normally all of our Twitch channels, live on Fridays. Thank you guys so much for listening. Have an excellent week, and we'll see you next time.